to tackle that building project? Start right. Start here at H&L Rapid True Value for building supplies. The time by H&L Rapid True Value is
Nationwide time, 5 o'clock.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Robianne Williams.
In Nationwide News at this hour, the economy continues recovery from weather-related shocks, showing modest growth in the second quarter of the year.
New JTA President Mark Malava slams government's wage offer, declaring it disrespectful.
Somebody needs to tell Antife that 0% cannot buy a Pro Box.
Jamaica Debates Commission insists it alone determines the journalists who ask questions at the national political debates.
Murders down 43%.
Manhunt still underway for 8 escapees from the Constant Spring lockup.
In news from the rest of the world, Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister responds to $2.8 million assassination plot against government officials.
Israel demands release of all Gaza hostages amid concerns about ceasefire proposal.
In headline sports, Liverpool's Mohamed Salah is Premier League Player of the Year for a record third time.
And later in our broadcast, in the cover story at 5:35, the Jamaica Debates Commission says it makes the final decision on which journalists are selected to ask questions or be moderators in the national political debates.
Despite this sharing and feedback received from the parties, the JDC has maintained its authority to make a final decision, and this has always been respected, including this cycle of debates.
You'll hear more.
The PIOJ says the country's economy grew by 1.4% for the second quarter of 2025. You'll hear more from their quarterly media briefing.
In public opinion at 6:26, we'll ask which party has the better team heading into the national political debates. Give us your comments by logging on to our Facebook page, Nationwide News Network, and by tweeting us at Nationwide Radio. You can also message us on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693 or leave a message on Instagram at Nationwide 90FM.
In the nation's business at 6:40, according to the PIOJ, agriculture, forestry and fishing grew by 9.8% in the second quarter this year. Portfolio Minister Floyd Green will join us.
At 7, murders are down 43% since the start of the year. We'll bring you the details.
At 8, it's Prescription for Life with Dr. Andre Campbell. That should be Dr. Andre McDonald.
All these and more as we take you home on air on your mobile, Nationwide 90FM, Nationwide Radio, JM.com, and on the Nationwide app. It's available on the Google Play and the App Store. This Tuesday afternoon, it's Tuesday,
August 19,
2025.
This hour is brought to you by KFC Buckets. Let's bucket together with a KFC Family 9, Family 12, Party 15, or Party 21 bucket. Because sharing a bucket with friends tastes finger-licking good.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90FM.
And now to the details. The Jamaican economy recorded modest growth for the second quarter of 2025. This as the country continues its economic recovery. According to data from the Planning Institute of Jamaica, the PIOJ, the country's gross domestic product, GDP, increased by 1.4% over the corresponding period of 2024. This was driven primarily by significant gains in agriculture, which outperformed its pre-Hurricane Beryl growth numbers. Siobhan Campbell tells us more.
According to Director General of the Planning Institute of Jamaica, Dr. Wayne Henry, the modest growth signals the country's continued recovery from the major weather-related shocks of 2024.
Today, we are reporting that the Jamaican economy recorded an estimated growth of 1.4% compared with the corresponding quarter, April to June of 2024. The outturn for the review quarter largely reflected continued growth in most industries: agriculture, forestry and fishing, and the accommodation and food services industries. Two industries that were hardest hit by the weather-related disruptions of 2024 were key drivers of this positive performance. Both industries have entered into a new growth phase, with current output levels surpassing their pre-Hurricane Beryl output levels.
Growth was driven primarily by gains in the goods-producing sectors of 3.8%. Agriculture was the standout performer, nearing double-digit gains for the quarter.
The goods producing industry grew by an estimated 3.8%, with improved performances recorded for 3 of the 4 industries, namely agriculture, forestry and fishing, manufacturing, and construction. The mining and quarrying industry was estimated to have recorded a contraction due to weakened demand and technical challenges. Agriculture, forestry, and fishing. Real value added for the agriculture industry grew by an estimated 9.8%. This outturn primarily reflected the impact of more favorable weather conditions, which contributed to an increase in output per hectare and an 11% expansion in the area of domestic crops reaped.
The services industries recorded only marginal growth of 0.5% for the same period. Growth in this sector was led primarily by tourism, as represented by accommodations and food services. This grew by 2.5%. There's also good news for the Jamaican economy's future prospects. The PIOJ is anticipating 2 to 3% growth for the next quarter.
Short-term prospects for the overall economy are positive, largely associated with the continuation of the recovery momentum as all industries are projected to record growth. This performance will largely be supported by 1. The recovery from the low production base during the corresponding quarter of 2024 when most industries were adversely impacted by Hurricane Beryl. In particular, agriculture production continues to benefit from the post-hurricane support to the industry, which has resulted in record levels of production for several crop groups. And this is what we call the new growth phase. And this augurs well for the related WR trim industry.
Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
Newly installed president of the Jamaica Teachers Association, JTA, Mark Malava, has declared that Finance Minister Favour Williams has disrespected the island's teachers with an offer of 0% in salary increases for the first year of a 3-year cycle. In strident remarks, the new JTA boss reminded the minister that 0% in increases would make it impossible for teachers to buy even a Probox motorcar. Mahiri Stewart has the story.
Representatives of the JTA walked out of a meeting with officials from the Finance Ministry last week. In his first speech as president, Mark Malava pulled no punches. He says the government is not doing enough to settle the teachers' dissatisfaction over wages.
We have submitted our list of claims with 27 items to the government. This was after widespread consultation and deep and detailed academic research into the various reports. The government has rejected 24 and they have carried us wide on the other 3 items. It is the heights of disrespect for the government to have offered us 0% in year 1 and 2.5% in each subsequent years. We boldly reject this offer. Somebody needs to tell Auntie Faye that 0% cannot buy a Probox.
Malava was speaking at the investiture ceremony of the JTA's 61st annual conference on Monday. He also took aim at the government for continuing to present wage offers the JTA deems insufficient while granting politicians a substantial salary increase.
Maslow's hierarchy of needs come before Bloom's taxonomy. And what this means, colleagues, is that you cannot expect a teacher to be in the classroom operating as his or her optimal level and his basic needs of food, clothing and shelter are not being met. Our teachers are amongst the lowest paid in the Caribbean, and our politicians are amongst the highest paid in the Caribbean.
The JTA president cited multiple reports supporting a salary increase for teachers to back his point that the government was making unacceptable wage offers.
The Ernst & Young report, which was commissioned by the government, recommended that the classroom teachers be placed on band 6, but the government placed the teachers on band 4. The difference between band 4 and band 6 is $1.2 million, $75,000 extra after tax. That is how much the government has robbed the teachers of this country. The Patterson report, the 2021 IDB report on education, and the Ernst & Young report all essentially concluded that teachers were being underpaid and have made recommendations for improved salaries and conditions of service.
Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
And the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions, the JCTU, has taken issue with comments made by the finance minister regarding public sector wage increases. During a television newscast on Tuesday, August 19, Mrs. Williams is said to have reported that for fiscal year 2025-26, the majority of the public sector workers would receive 7.5% increases due to incremental payments. But the JCTU insists the statement is inaccurate. The union says the 7.5% being referenced is not a new increase for this fiscal year, but instead stems from the movement of eligible public sector workers by up to 3 increments on their salary scales. According to the JCTU, this adjustment was part of the 2022-25 public sector compensation restructuring process and was agreed to on September 12, 2024, under then Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clarke. The union stressed that the adjustment was a deferred entitlement without retroactive effect, not a response to its current wage claim. The JCTU noted that it had already submitted its formal wage claim for the 2025 to 2028 cycle in November last year. This was 2 months after the increment agreement was finalized. It described any suggestion that the 7.5% adjustment forms part of ongoing negotiations as inaccurate and misleading.
The Jamaica Debates Commission says it makes the final decision on which journalists are selected to ask questions or be moderators in the national political debates. Chairman of the commission, Brian Schmidt, made the comment at a media conference on Tuesday.
At every debate cycle, the commissioners evaluate and assess journalists whom it believes can assist as questioners and moderators, and from that assessment, a pool of potential journalists is established. As a courtesy to one of our key stakeholders, the political parties, the pool is shared for their views. Despite this sharing and feedback received from the parties, the JDC has maintained its authority, responsibility, and purpose to make the final decision on moderators and questioners for the debates. This has always been respected, including this cycle of debates.
His comment follows a statement from the PNP declaring it would not participate in the debates if any journalist from Nationwide News Network was listed among the questioners. There have been calls for the JDC to abandon its approach of inviting the views of political parties about the pool of journalists being considered for the debate. Meanwhile, Schmidt says in an attempt to allow time for more questions, the debates will abandon opening statements.
Also, we routinely scrutinize our format and make adjustments to improve it. And we do this in an effort to improve the viewing and listening experience for the public and to increase the audience that watches and listens to the debates. This is guided by data from our standard post-debate research. What we have found is that respondents have said that they want more questions asked and answered. So for the first time, we have dropped the opening statements in the debates to facilitate more questions and answers.
Brian Schmidt, chairman of the Jamaica Debates Commission.
Jamaica Progressive Party JPP standard-bearer in Southwest St. Elizabeth, Kirk Chambers, is appealing to the EOJ to grant him the opportunity to be nominated to contest the September 3 general election. Chambers, who was late on Monday, missed the opportunity to be nominated.
This was not the result of poor planning on my part, but rather a circumstance beyond my control. For these reasons, I respectfully appeal for the EOJ to give due consideration to the extenuating circumstances that prevented my punctual arrival in the interests of justice, fairness, and democracy, and stand ready to comply with any additional requirements the EOJ may deem necessary.
Kirk Chambers, JPP standard-bearer in Southwest St. Elizabeth. Chambers is blaming his delayed arrival on traffic caused by Nomination Day motorcades. The JPP nominated 47 candidates during Nomination Day activities yesterday.
In the race to 32, facts matter.
Did you know that the PNP has lost the constituency of East Kingston and Port Royal in only one contested general election since 1944? Yes, that's a fact. East Kingston and Port Royal was won by the JLP's Glenmore Webley in the 1980 general election. Webley polled 5,704 votes to beat the PNP's Hugh Small by 486 votes. The only other time the JLP took the seat was 1983, when the PNP boycotted that general election.
This nationwide Did You Know fact is part of our coverage for the race to 32 as we preview the next general election.
You're listening to the news on Nationwide at 5. We'll have more after these.
It's IQ Optical's sizzling summer sale. For this month only, get 50% off lenses when you purchase a frame. Kids get free lenses with a purchase of a frame. Make the intelligent choice with IQ Optical. Conditions apply. The time by IQ Optical is...
It's 15 minutes after 5.
Rentokil Initial offers air purification solutions with triple filtration and unique auto-sensing capabilities that neutralizes malodor and replaces it with clean air. Call Rentokil Initial at 926-4236 for more details.
The temperature by Rentokil is
32 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 31 out west in Montego Bay.
A plus for back to school? Yep, you can score that. Just grab an A plus back to school loan from Access Financial. Why? Reduced interest rates, duh. Plus, you could win your loan interest free.
That's right. Apply for an A plus back to school loan and you could be entered to win your loan interest free in the Lucky Loans promotion.
From school fees to footwear, uniforms to book lists, we've got you covered.
For back to school, the only thing you need is a reduced rate loan from Access Financial's A plus back to school promotion. Conditions apply.
Continuing the news, the JLP leader, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness, has suggested the PNP's Dr. Alfred Dawes attempted to lure him into a confrontation during a recent tour of Southeast St. Catherine. He made the comment while addressing a recent incident in which his motorcade diverted to avoid PNP supporters in the community of Waterford.
I deviated from my route to avoid a confrontation. It was clear to me that the candidate wanted to somehow entrap me in a kind of altercation, confrontation that would not be to my benefit, to the safety of the people who were campaigning with me, or to the general atmosphere of the election. I have given strict instruction to my candidate that they must not, under any circumstances, engage the PNP in anything that could amount to confrontation.
Dr. Dawes has since denied that he and his supporters sought to block the Prime Minister's motorcade. The JLP's Robert Miller is locked in a close contest with Dr. Dawes for the seat. Miller is seeking a second term in the constituency that's traditionally been held by the PNP. Dr. Holness says he wants to see an atmosphere of unity throughout the campaign.
It is always good, to see PNP supporters and JLP supporters embracing and dancing, which I have been involved in a few of those. When my sense is there is no animosity or there is no intention for a confrontation, then that's fine. But I got a serious perspective that the candidate in question wanted a confrontation that would not redound to the benefit of the election campaign.
JLP leader and Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness, he was speaking during nomination day proceedings on Monday.
A manhunt is still underway for 8 men who escaped from the Constant Spring police lockup in St. Andrew this morning. There were initially 9 escapees, but one of them, 45-year-old David Roden, has since been recaptured. Robin Williams reports.
Tuesday's incident marks the first major jailbreak since the start of the year. It's triggered a high-level police investigation to determine how the men managed to cut their way through a grill and metal door. Still on the run are 19-year-old Alonzo Espute of Cassava Peace in Kingston 8. He's charged with murder. 27-year-old Brandon Ennis of Belvedere in Red Hills. He was being held on a charge of possession of a prohibited weapon. Also on the run are 23-year-old Talik Chambers of Burlington Avenue, Kingston 10. He is charged with identity theft, and 25-year-old Derrick Douglas of Upper Oxford Street in Kingston. He was charged with wounding with intent, shooting with intent, and malicious destruction of property. Also at large are 18-year-old Frey Messias, who is charged with rape, 19-year-old Richard Bishop, who is charged with burglary and larceny, 31-year-old Junior Anthony Barnes, who is charged with possession of prohibited weapon and unauthorized ammunition, and Kamal Kelly, a 25-year-old of Mannings Hill District in Stony Hill, St. Andrew. He was charged with shooting with intent. According to the police, the men escaped shortly after 1 in the morning. The police say an intensive search is underway for the fugitives and are appealing to the public to provide any information that may lead to their capture. Members of the public who may have information on the whereabouts of the escaped inmates are asked to contact the Constant Spring Police at 876-924-1421, the Police 119 emergency number, the anonymous Crime Stop 311 number, or the nearest police station. The public is also being reminded that it is an offense to harbor criminals. Robianne Williams for Nationwide News.
This is a Nationwide Election Nugget.
West Rural St. Andrew has established itself as one of the most hotly contested seats in the country. No political party or candidate has held the seat for more than 2 terms after contested elections. The JLP's Mavis Gilmore, after 2 consecutive wins, went on to serve for a 3rd term following the uncontested 1983 general elections. The constituency was established in 1959 after being carved out from the previous Western St. Andrew seat. In that year, the JLP's Arthur Leon won the inaugural election. However, the seat quickly established a pattern of alternation between the JLP and the PNP. If 2-term incumbent MP Juliet Cuthbert Flynn is successful over her challenger Joan Gordon Webley come September 3, she'll be the first candidate to successfully hold the constituency for a 3rd term following a contested election.
That was a Nationwide Election Nugget.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
The World in a Minute. Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar says threats against some government officials were expected due to aggressive policing actions to root out gang activities over the past month. It follows news that a collective bounty to kill has been placed on the heads of 3 government ministers and a state official. The bounty is valued at $2.8 million. The officials being targeted include the country's defense minister, local government minister, and public utilities minister. The state official is the manager of the Unemployment Relief Program. It's reported that security details of the ministers have since increased. Alleged conspirators include a lawyer with ties to the ruling United National Congress administration, 2 illegal quarry operators, and a senior military officer.
Israel is demanding the release of all 50 hostages held in Gaza. The request comes amid concerns on whether the country will accept a new proposal for a 60-day ceasefire that Hamas agreed to on Monday. The proposal put forward by Qatar and Egypt would see the release of around half the hostages. According to Qatar, it's almost identical to a U.S. proposal Israel had previously accepted. Palestinian sources said the proposal would see 10 living and 18 dead hostages handed over while the sides negotiated a permanent ceasefire and the return of the other hostages. Israel believes that only 20 of the 50 hostages are still alive after 22 months of war.
World in a Minute was brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
Recapping the top stories making nationwide news at this hour. The economy continues recovery from weather-related shocks showing modest growth in the second quarter of the year.
New JTA President Mark Malava slams government's wage offer, declaring it disrespectful.
The Jamaica Debates Commission insists it alone determines the journalists who ask questions at the national political debates.
Manhunt still underway for 8 escapees from the Constant Spring lockup.
I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Robianne Williams.
Listeners, you can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app. It's available on the Google Play and the App Store. News next. The headlines at 6.
Want to save money and still protect your engine? Get Chevron Supreme Sin Blend Motor Oil, the blue bottle with a silver stripe. Now upgraded to synthetic blend, so your engine runs cleaner, longer, and stronger. Now available island-wide at service stations and leading auto parts stores. Ask for Chevron Motor Oil, your favorite blue bottle with a silver stripe. That's Chevron Sin Blend, your engine good friend.
Sports at 5 is brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. Jamaica's national under-14 girls football team beat rivals Trinidad and Tobago 3-1 at the Hazley Crawford Stadium in Port of Spain this afternoon to top Group B in the Caribbean Football Union Challenge Series. The young Jamaican girls ended the preliminary stage with maximum points from their 3 games, having earlier beaten Bermuda and Aruba by 1-0. Alicia Dunn, Chanel Walter, and Tiana Grant got the goals for Jamaica.
Spin out, but here it comes again. Done. Into Walters. Trying to fashion half yard to get a shot. It does come out. And it wrong for Benjamin. And it's Alicia Dunn benefiting from the layoff. Wide. And around her defender. Skips it inside. Surely. London. Strikes from Trinidad and Tobago. In fact, it's Henry. All the good work was done by London. Back in the direction of the Trinidad and Tobago goal, though. Settles now for Dunn. And maybe Walters in traffic. Into half yard of space. And dispatches a shot beyond Benjamin. Fine skill from Walters. Whacked in by the left foot of Grant. And it's in from all of 35 yards. What a strike that is. Jamaica finished top of Group B with their 3rd win in as many matches.
The Jamaicans will next face Puerto Rico on Friday in the semi-finals. National champions Cavalier will begin the defense of their CONCACAF Club Championship title on Tuesday when they play away to Cibao of the Dominican Republic at 7 o'clock. Cavalier are without 10 players who helped them to the title last year, which is sure to test the mettle of their coaching staff, led by sporting director Rudolph Speed, who is under no illusion as to what awaits them in the group.
It's just a zone of winners. I think we're in the zone of death. So I don't think there's any chasing here or anybody going in front. It's just a zone of predators in there.
Rudolph Speed, another Jamaican team, the St. Anne-based Mount Pleasant Academy, will also be in action at the National Stadium against Suriname's SV Robin Hood, a former champion. That game also kicks off at 7 tonight. Mount Pleasant sporting director Paul Christie says his team is built to perform better than they did last season.
The strategy is to have best talent in Jamaica, to represent not just Jamaica, but to give a good account for the Caribbean and be able to compete at the CONCACAF level with the Americans and the Mexicans, so that Jamaica is not just a team that shows up, but actually is able to participate and compete.
That's Paul Christie. Liverpool's Egyptian superstar Mohamed Salah created history and went on Tuesday when he won the Professional Footballers Association Men's Player of the Year award in England. It was Salah's 3rd time winning the award, the first player to win it 3 times. Salah played a key role in Liverpool's Premier League title success last season and was also the league's top scorer with 29 goals. He also provided 18 assists. Salah's Liverpool teammate Alexis McAllister, Manchester United's captain Bruno Fernandes, Newcastle striker Alexander Isak, Chelsea striker Cole Palmer, and Arsenal midfield player Declan Rice were also on the short list. Aston Villa midfield star Morgan Rogers was named Young Player of the Year, the 5th Aston Villa player to be named the Young Player of the Season in England. One day after sprint star Kishane Thompson pulled out of a Wednesday's Diamond League meeting in Lausanne, Switzerland, another of Jamaica's global stars has followed suit. Reigning World 200 meters champion Shericka Jackson has pulled out of the 200 meters. Jackson's withdrawal now leaves 7, 8, 9 Jamaicans in the lineup for one of the richest meets on the circuit. Jackson's MVP clubmate Thompson pulled out of the event 2 days after beating the world and Olympic 100 meters champion Noah Lyles in a crack 100 meters in Silesia, Poland at the weekend. The 24-year-old will not compete in the upcoming Diamond League meeting set for Brussels and Zurich, and he'll not run again until he turns up in Tokyo, Japan to face Lyles and the rest in the men's 100 meters. Oblique Seville, Akeem Blake, Wayne Pinnock, Keir McLeod, Tajay Gale, Rajendra Campbell, Megan Tapper and Akira Nugent are the other Jamaicans who are scheduled to be in action.
This is Nationwide's World Championships Countdown.
As the countdown continues to the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, Japan, September 13 to 2021. September 13 to 21. Nationwide 90 FM, who'll be carrying the 9-day spectacle, looks at the breakdown in prize monies for the event. There's a total prize pot of US $8,498,000 in the pot. The gold medal winners will each take home $70,000. The silver medalists will earn $35,000. And the bottom of the podium, the bronze medal winners, will each collect $22,000. There's a world record bonus of US $100,000. So if you break the world record at the World Championships, you get $100,000 US, separate and apart from if you break the world record and end up winning the gold medal. Now, the event will feature over 2,000 athletes from around 200 countries competing in various track and field disciplines in 50 different athletics events, including in-stadium events and road races as well.
That was Nationwide's World Championship Countdown.
And that will do it for sports. We're going to be back with more at 6:05 this evening.
Sports at 5 was brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade.
Cubby's Baby Wipes is ideal for your baby's delicate skin, infused with vitamin E and aloe vera, and available for home or on the go. The time by Cubby's Baby Wipes is
5:31.
From Kingston to the world, from Montego Bay to new adventures, and from Ocho Rios to endless possibilities. Wherever you're headed, we will proudly take you there. Jamaica's Airport, your global gateway. The temperature brought to you by the Airports Authority of Jamaica is
32 degrees Celsius here in the nation's capital, Kingston. It's 31 in the western city, Montego Bay.
Following is brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
I appeal to the young man and the young woman on the corner who is wanting a job but don't know where a job is, or may have gone for a job interview and was not successful, and then leaves with the opinion that there is no space for me in this growing economy. I need you. Your country needs you. Your economy needs you. The Caymanas Special Economic Zone needs you. You are a critical element in the growth of this country. And this administration, through the Heart Trust NSTA, we will find you, we will support you, we will assist you in getting trained and getting employed so that you can claim your share in the prosperity that Jamaica is experiencing.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Stay ahead in your career with UWI-STAR, the short-term advancement resource center. Our programs are designed to support your professional growth. Join our community of professionals and take the next step in your career. Visit our website, www.mona.uwi.edu/short-courses to learn more about the continuing professional education programs of UWI-STAR.
KFC this summer, we are bucking together.
Well, I vibe with your crew, yeah, we are stay true, the taste is so good.
KFC, bucket on the ends with the real one. My island, we are world champion.
All of we connect with the KFC.
Jamrock celebrate with we. KFC, we are bucking together.
Let's bucket together with KFC. Enjoy a Family 9, Family 12, Party 15, or Party 21 bucket, because sharing a bucket with friends tastes finger-licking good. KFC.
Did you know that you can vote without the new voter ID card? Once you're registered to vote, that is, your name is on the voters list, you can vote in the upcoming election. If you don't have your voter ID card, visit your polling station on election day and our trained election day workers will assist you. That was a message from the Electoral Office of Jamaica.
Suzuki got some amazing wins for the summer. If you want something amazing, run go down a Suzuki. Buy one of them carrier. Frank's Excel Step, Jimny 5-door, Rock Grand Vitara. Get a chance to win a weekend trip to Panama for 2 monthly prizes for back to school. Plus adventure giveaways, only valid at Stewart's Automotive, Kingston and Mobile. Some amazing Suzuki, some amazing. Some amazing Suzuki, some amazing. Conditions apply. Visit SuzukiJamaica.com for some amazing win. GPS. Keep it cool, keep it cool. Summertime hot, but we have all the tools. Keep it cool, keep it cool. Enough ways to see it, you just have to choose. Stay out of the fridge, just use a igloo. Remember your Kisco ice handy juice. The fan AC combo, yeah, I hit that. AC for a bit, then a fan after that. Keep it cool, keep it cool. This summer JPS have all the tools. Keep you cool with JPS. Download the JPS app today.
Cover Story is brought to you by Hyundai. Modern, premium, affordable vehicles.
Experience the joy of buying a brand new Hyundai without breaking the bank. Yes, buying a brand new car should never leave you broke. From stylish designs and safety features to comfortable driving and reliability, Hyundai is the choice. Hyundai vehicles come standard with 2 years free service and 5 years warranty and roadside assistance for your peace of mind. Drive 2 years without service cost and 5 years without fear of being stranded. Hyundai. Conditions apply.
Good afternoon. 24 minutes going up to 6 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining us here on Nationwide at 5. I'm Cliff Hughes.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
Good afternoon, Siobhan.
Good afternoon, Sir Hughes.
Good. Well, in our cover story this afternoon, the Jamaica Debates Commission, JDC, says it makes the final decision on which journalists are selected to ask questions or be moderators in the national political debates. The chairman of the commission, Brian Schmidt, made the comment at a media briefing today.
As a courtesy to one of our key stakeholders, the political parties, the pool is shared for their views. Despite this sharing and feedback received from the parties, the JDC has maintained its authority, responsibility, and purpose to make the final decision on moderators and questioners for the debates. And this has always been respected, including this cycle of debates. Also, we routinely scrutinize our format and make adjustments to improve it. And we do this in an effort to improve the viewing and listening experience for the public and to increase the audience that watches and listens to the debates. This is guided by data from our standard post-debate research. What we have found is that respondents have said that they want more questions asked and answered. So for the first time, we have dropped the opening statements in the debates to facilitate more questions and answers. Also, the economy debate is a debate that has performed the least well of all of the debates in terms of audience and interest. So in an effort to energize and create more interest around those debates, guided by data, we have moved towards a team format for that debate because the public has told us they absolutely love team debates. And we have a commitment to try and get as many people to watch and listen to debates and engage as is possible. The JDC has developed this solid process, which has been built on transparency and accountability. And I think all of our stakeholders will confirm that we always endeavor to remain on a fair, patriotic, and professional path on which we have traveled for more than 2 decades. As has been the usual practice for many cycles, the debates will take place in front of a live studio audience at the Creative Production and Training Center, CPTC, with each debate beginning at 9 p.m. and concluding at 10:30 p.m. The debate covers specific thematic areas. These themes are suggestions or guidelines, and our questioners are absolutely free to create their own questions. And let me reiterate, the JDC plays no part in the creation or composition of the questions, and we have no idea what the questions are that the questioners will come with, and we learn them at the same time as the public when they are asked. We have no idea what the questions are before.
That's Brian Schmidt. He's the chairman of the Debates Commission. Well, his comment follows a statement from the PNP declaring it would not participate in the debates if any journalist from Nationwide News Network was allowed to ask questions. Amid public backlash, the party climbed down from that position to boycott the debates if Nationwide News Deputy Executive Director George Davis was selected to play any role in the proceedings. The PNP's representative at the meetings with the JDC, Colin Campbell, had insisted that Davis' presence was a deal breaker. But the PNP has apparently abandoned Campbell's line in the face of calls, including from the Press Association of Jamaica, for the Debates Commission to reject attempts to manipulate press freedom. Davis is listed to serve as moderator for the debate on the economy.
The first debate, Social Issues, is a team debate between 3 representatives of each party. We have suggested to our questioners that the thematic areas for consideration may include questions covering topics such as youth education, culture, crime, technology and innovation, employment, health and medical care, shelter strategies and town and physical planning, environmental management, and transportation. The second debate, the economy. This year will also be a team debate with 3 representatives of each side who in the course of the debate have the opportunity to outline their party's policies and programs on economic growth and fiscal management. We have suggested the questioners look at growth, taxation, MSMEs, trade, industry and investment, human capital development, future-proofing, and the labor market. In the third and final debate, which will end our 2025 cycle, this debate is between the 2 candidates who are vying for the post of Prime Minister. The 2 candidates are expected to speak about their party's policies and programs and to respond to a wide range of topics, including vision for Jamaicans at home and abroad, climate resilience and the environment, integrated development planning, and governance, including constitutional reform. Once again, I'd like to remind the questioners make their own questions, and they could choose to ignore our suggestions. With respect to the management of the debates, we will again rely on the services of a moderator and 3 panelists for each debate. 1 panelist will function as a social media editor who will be examining social media questions coming in, and based on what is coming in, will edit those questions and pose those questions to the debaters. And I'd like to use this opportunity to remind the public that they can send in their questions, hashtag Jamaica Debates 2025 and hashtag Jamaica Decides 2025. Okay, so debate 1, social issues, Saturday, August 23. Our moderator is Janella Precious. Our questioners are Natalie Campbell and Romarda Lyons. The social media editor will be Amoy Harriot. Debate 2, the economy, Tuesday, August 26. The moderator will be George Davis. The questioners, Dashan Hendricks and Andrea Chisholm. The social media editor will be Amoy Harriot. And in debate 3, the leaders debate, Thursday, August 28, the moderator is Archibald Gordon. The questioners are Dion Jackson Miller and Giovanni Dennis, And the social media editor is again Amoy Harriot.
Brian Schmidt there, the chairman of the JDC, speaking at a media briefing this morning. Meanwhile, the PNP's Colin Campbell refused to say why the party objected to Nationwide's participation in the debates. He was asked this question by Nationwide's Mahiri Stewart.
Question for Colin Campbell. Could you state your reasons for your objection to the three journalists from Nationwide News, that being George Davis, Tana Thomas, and Ricardo Brooks?
Sorry, respectfully.
No, I can answer. I would never say publicly what we have discussed in a private and confidential meeting. You also have to remember that there will be future debates. This is not the end of the world. And if the political parties get to the point where we are revealing information discussed in confidence, we say confidential things, the JDC commissioners say confidential things. If we get to the point where we feel free to just go and speak publicly confidential matters, then in the next cycle, the people who represent the political parties at those meetings and the people who are commissioners will not have any confidence in the process to sit down and discuss matters confidentially. And I don't think we should go on that road. I think we should maintain the confidentialities. Everybody knows PNP and JLP are very competitive organizations, but I still think we have to respect what we do privately and what we have agreed confidentially.
I know we're up on the debate cliff, but what a cowardly position for Colin Campbell to take. The party which has to this point been constantly talking about government secrecy and integrity is talking about we must keep certain matters private when everybody is aware as to why there are objections to Nationwide News taking part in the debate. What a cowardly position, attempting to talk out the two sides of your mouth.
Yeah, because he knows the basis of the objection is without merit. There is no merit to it. So it cannot stand up to public scrutiny. Time for the break.
Clear your barrels and personal shipments with ease and convenience. Request a customs contactless clearance today through CCP at jca.gov.jm. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
14 minutes to 6.
Bird Shack Fried Chicken Summer Vibes Promotion. Spend $1,000 or more at any store this August and win weekly prizes of JBL speakers or earbuds, plus a grand prize of a 50-inch smart TV. Bird Shack Fried Chicken.
The temperature brought to you by Bird Shack Fried Chicken is...
It's 30 degrees Celsius here in the capital city, Kingston, and 31 out west in Montego Bay.
KFC this summer, we are bucking together. Well, I vibe with your crew, yeah, we are stay true, the taste is so good. KFC, bucky on the ends with the real one. My island, we are world champion. All of we connect with the KFC. Jamrock celebrate with we. KFC, we are bucking together.
Let's bucket together with KFC. Enjoy a Family 9, Family 12, Party 15, or Party 21 bucket, because sharing a bucket with friends tastes finger-licking good. KFC.
The following is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Progress is happening across Jamaica. Roads fixed, homes built, jobs created. The Jamaica Labour Party is still working and reaching more Jamaicans every day. This election, stick with the team that's delivering. Put your X beside the bell. Vote JLP. They're doing more for you and they want to keep doing more.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Experience the joy of buying a brand new Hyundai without breaking the bank. Yes, buying a brand new car should never leave you broke. From stylish designs and safety features to comfortable driving and reliability, Hyundai is the choice. Hyundai vehicles come standard with 2 years free service and 5 years warranty and roadside assistance for your peace of mind. Drive 2 years without service cost and 5 years without fear of being stranded. Hyundai. Conditions apply.
Want to reduce your high electricity bills?
Then Peak Energy has the solution for you. From grid tie to hybrid solar inverters with full lithium-ion battery pack. Installation and maintenance packages available. Visit us at Shop 1, 3 Mosquito Valley Road, Red Hill, St. Andrew. Call 876-279-8820 or 944-0668. Or email us at peakenergysolutionsja@gmail.com. Peak Energy for everything solar.
11 minutes going up to 6 o'clock. A little bit more from that media briefing today by the Jamaica Debates Commission. The chairman, Brian Schmidt, says the commission looks at who would be the best fit for a debate in choosing the moderators and the questioners. Again, he was responding to a question from Nationwide's Mahiri Stewart.
In terms of the selection process for the journalists that would be asking questions during the debate, I noticed that there weren't any Nationwide journalists involved. Is there any reason you can give for you coming to that decision, or?
JDC retains its right to choose the moderators and journalists that it wants to use. What we look on is who we believe are the best fit per debate, and this has always been the process. And what you will see over time, there are times when, since you asked about a particular media house, there are times when there's a stronger representation, and there are other times when there's a lesser representation, and that is true of all media houses in the debates, when you look on the debates over time. So I don't think it is necessarily fair to try and take a snapshot at one time to try and make a judgment on the work that the JDC has done for over 23 years.
Brian Schmidt, the chairman of the Jamaica Debates Commission. 10 minutes going up to 6 o'clock. We're going to switch gears now. News on the Jamaican economy this afternoon. It recorded modest growth for the second quarter of this year. This as the country continues its economic recovery. According to data from the Planning Institute of Jamaica, Jamaica's gross domestic product, GDP, increased by 1.4% over the corresponding period of 2024.
This was driven primarily by significant gains in agriculture, which outperformed its pre-Hurricane Beryl growth numbers. According to the PIOJ's Director General, that's Dr. Wayne Henry, the modest growth signals the country's continued recovery from the major weather-related shocks of the previous year.
Today, we are reporting that the Jamaican economy recorded an estimated growth of 1.4%, compared with the corresponding quarter, April to June of 2024. The outturn for the review quarter largely reflected continued growth in most industries. Agriculture, forestry and fishing, and the accommodation and food services industries, two industries that were hardest hit by the weather-related disruptions of 2024, were key drivers of this positive performance. Both industries have entered into a new growth phase, with current output levels surpassing their pre-Hurricane Beryl output levels. Among the factors influencing the performance during the review quarter were 1, growth in the economies of Jamaica's major trading partners, which supported external demand, and 2, increased domestic demand for goods and services, supported by a strengthening in both consumer and business confidence levels, pushed by a positive perception of current economic conditions, as well as optimism surrounding business prospects, and a higher level of employment facilitated by an increase in the employed labor force by 24,200 persons.
That's Dr. Wayne Henry. He is the Director General of the Planning Institute of Jamaica. He went on to say that growth was driven primarily by gains in the goods-producing sectors of 3.8%.
Real sector developments. Developments in the goods-producing industry. The goods-producing industry grew by an estimated 3.8%. with improved performances recorded for 3 of the 4 industries, namely agriculture, forestry and fishing, manufacturing, and construction. The mining and quarrying industry was estimated to have recorded a contraction due to weakened demand and technical challenges. agriculture, forestry, and fishing. Real value added for the agriculture industry grew by an estimated 9.8%. This outturn primarily reflected the impact of more favorable weather conditions, which contributed to an increase in output per hectare and an 11% expansion in the area of domestic crops reaped. Based on current output levels, the industry has fully recovered from the shock of Hurricane Beryl and is now in a new growth phase. The performance of the industry stemmed from 1, a 14.1% growth in the output of other agricultural crops. Increased production was recorded in all 9 crop groups, led by cereals up 27.8%, potatoes up 22.9%, vegetables up 18.9%, condiments up 18.5%, yams up 11.1%, and legumes up 7.4%. 2, growth of 2.7% in traditional export crops, which largely reflected higher production of coffee, up 8.6%, and banana, up 4%. These increases were sufficient to outweigh estimated declines in cocoa and sugarcane production. 3, a 3.6% expansion in post-harvest activities, reflecting increased availability of coffee berries for roasting. And 4, a 3.1% increase in animal farming, which was attributed to an increase in poultry meat production of 6.6%. This was sufficient to outweigh a 25.5% decline in egg production.
That's the Director General of the Planning Institute of Jamaica, Dr. Wayne Henry. He says mining and quarrying declined for the second quarter this year.
Mining and quarrying. Real value added for the mining and quarrying industry decreased by 3.5%, reflecting declines in both alumina and crude bauxite production. Specifically, alumina production, the heavier weighted component, contracted by 5.5%. Lower production was a result of reduced demand as well as technical challenges associated with equipment failure at one plant. The alumina capacity utilization rate was 39.5%, down 2.3 percentage points compared with the corresponding quarter of 2024. Crude bauxite production down 1.5%, reflecting reduced demand from a major overseas purchaser. The bauxite capacity utilization rate decreased by 0.5 percentage point to 35.4%, and reduced production of most quarrying materials surveyed. The largest declines were registered for limestone, marl and fill, gypsum, and pozzolan. Manufacturing. Real value added for the manufacturing industry was estimated to have grown by 1.4%. Increased output was estimated for both the other manufacturing and the food, beverages, and tobacco sub-industries. Within the food, beverages, and tobacco sub-industry, higher production was pushed by poultry meat, up 5.4%, and dairy products, up 24.6%. These were sufficient to outweigh the decline in beverage production, reflected in lower output of beer and stout, down 19.8%, and rum and alcohol, down 4.7%. For the other manufacturing sub-industry, the estimated increase in output was mainly due to petroleum products, reflecting higher production of turbo fuel, up 118.5%, automotive diesel oil, ADO, up 81.9%, fuel oil, up 54.6%, and asphalt, up 84.7%. Further growth in this sub-industry was stymied by an estimated contraction in the non-metallic minerals component, reflecting lower production of cement, down 38.2%, and clinker, down 66.6%. The decline in cement and clinker production was attributed to the closure of the plant to facilitate an expansion project. Construction. An estimated growth of 1.6% in real value added was recorded for the construction industry, reflecting an upturn in both the building construction and other construction components. Preliminary data on sales of construction inputs indicate a 0.8% increase in real terms, while cement supply to the market expanded by 8.5%. The building construction component is estimated to have grown, reflecting a 745.9% increase in housing starts by the NHT. The performance was driven by 2,077 new starts at the Longville Park Housing Scheme. Additionally, higher work in progress was supported by the strong increase in housing starts reported in the previous quarter. The growth in the other construction component was due to higher capital expenditure on civil engineering activities. Among the entities recording increased expenditure was the Port Authority of Jamaica, PAJ, up 743.7% to $1.2 billion, reflecting rehabilitation works on docks and berths at the Ocho Rios Pier.
That's Dr. Wayne Henry of the Planning Institute. So, Siobhan, the takeaway, in the second quarter, the economy grew 1.4%, meaning it was driven primarily by gains in agriculture and the goods-producing sector of the economy.
A funny moment, Cliff, I asked Dr. Wayne Henry this afternoon if he would consider that a V-shaped recovery, and he shied away from the question, though. Even when if you look at the graph that was presented by the PIOJ, it literally was a V-shape. So I found it quite funny that he didn't want, he said, well, there was modest growth, but he didn't want to say, no, it's a V-shaped recovery.
And that V would have started with a decline after burial.
Yes.
Okay. All right, that's where we're going to leave it for the cover story. The headlines at 6 are next.
Cover Story was brought to you by Hyundai. Modern, premium, affordable vehicles. The hour was brought to you by KFC Buckets. Let's bucket together with a KFC Family 9, Family 12, Party 15, or Party 21 bucket. Because sharing a bucket with friends tastes finger-licking good.
The time brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure, live easy is...
A minute after 6. Good evening. With the headlines at 6, I'm Nora Gay Banton. The Jamaican economy recorded modest growth for the second quarter of 2025. This as the country continues its economic recovery. According to data from the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ, the country's gross domestic product, GDP, increased by 1.4% over the corresponding period of 2024. This was driven primarily by significant gains in agriculture, which outperformed its pre-Hurricane Beryl growth numbers. According to Director General of the Planning Institute of Jamaica, Dr. Wayne Henry, the modest growth signals the country's continued recovery from the major weather-related shocks of 2024.
Today, we are reporting that the Jamaican economy recorded an estimated growth of 1.4% compared with the corresponding quarter, April to June of 2024. The outturn for the review quarter largely reflected continued growth in most industries. Agriculture, forestry and fishing, and the accommodation and food services industries, two industries that were hardest hit by the weather-related disruptions of 2024, were key drivers of this positive performance. Both industries have entered into a new growth phase, with current output levels surpassing their pre-Hurricane Beryl output levels.
Growth was driven primarily by gains in the goods-producing sectors of 3.8%. Agriculture was the standout performer, nearing double-digit gains for the quarter.
The goods producing industry grew by an estimated 3.8%, with improved performances recorded for 3 of the 4 industries, namely agriculture, forestry and fishing, manufacturing, and construction. The mining and quarrying industry was estimated to have recorded a contraction due to weakened demand and technical challenges. Agriculture, forestry, and fishing. Real value added for the agriculture industry grew by an estimated 9.8%. This outturn primarily reflected the impact of more favorable weather conditions, which contributed to an increase in output per hectare and an 11% expansion in the area of domestic crops reaped.
The services industries recorded only marginal growth of 0.5% for the same period. Newly installed president of the Jamaica Teachers Association, JTA, Mark Malava, has declared that Finance Minister Favour Williams has disrespected the island's teachers with an offer of 0% in salary increases for the first year of a 3-year cycle. In strident remarks, the new JTA boss reminded the minister that 0% in increases would make it impossible for teachers to buy even a Probox motor car. Representatives of the JTA walked out of a meeting with officials from the Finance Ministry last week. In his first speech as president, Mark Malava pulled no punches. He says the government is not doing enough to settle teachers' dissatisfaction over wages.
We have submitted our list of claims with 27 items to the government. This was after widespread consultation and deep and detailed academic research into the various reports. The government has rejected 24 and they have carried us wide on the other 3 items. It is the heights of disrespect for the government to have offered us 0% in year 1 and 2.5% in each subsequent years. We boldly reject this offer. Somebody needs to tell Auntie Faye that 0% cannot buy a Probox.
Malava was speaking at the investiture ceremony of the JTA's 61st annual conference on Monday. He also took aim at the government for continuing to present wage offers the JTA deems insufficient while granting politicians a substantial salary increase.
Maslow's hierarchy of needs come before Bloom's taxonomy. And what this means, colleagues, is that you cannot expect a teacher to be in the classroom operating as his or her optimal level, and his basic needs of food, clothing, and shelter are not being met. Our teachers are amongst the lowest paid in the Caribbean, and our politicians are amongst the highest paid in the Caribbean.
The JTA president cited multiple reports supporting a salary increase for teachers to back his point that the government was making unacceptable wage offers. The Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions, JCTU, has taken issue with comments made by Minister of Finance Favour Williams regarding public sector wage increases. During a televised newscast on Tuesday, August 19, Williams reportedly stated that for the fiscal year 2025-2026, the majority of public sector workers received 7.5% in increases due to incremental payments. But the JCTU insists that statement is inaccurate. The union says the 7.5% being referenced is not a new increase for this fiscal year, but instead stems from the movement of eligible public sector workers by up to 3 increments in their salary scales. According to the JCTU, this adjustment was part of the 2022 to 2025 public sector compensation restructuring process and was agreed to on September 12, 2024, under then Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark. The union stressed that the adjustment was a deferred entitlement without retroactive effect, not a response to its current wage claim. The JCTU noted that it had already submitted its formal wage claim for the 2025 to 2028 cycle in November 2024. This was 2 months after the increment agreement was finalized. It described any suggestion that the 7.5% adjustment forms part of ongoing negotiations as inaccurate and misleading. Those were the headlines at 6. I'm Nora Gay. Banton Sports is next.
Mommy, I need new shoes, books, so many things for back to school.
Back to school pressure is real. Chris and Charles has your back. Get your back to school loan of $1.5 million with reduced processing fees, discounted interest rates, and fast approval. Win a fully loaded backpack for your child. Start school with less stress and more success. Apply today at any branch or visit www.chrisandcharles.com. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58(3) of the Betting, Gaming, and Lotteries Act.
Getting ready for school is as easy as KB. Shop at Kingston Bookshop between July 14 to September 6, 2025 for your chance to win big in our back to school promotion. Spend just $5,000 before GCT, shop online or in store, and you could win $150,000 in cash, an HP laptop, or a Samsung Galaxy Tab A9. It's back to school the easy way, only at KB. Authorized under Section 58(3) of the Betting, Gaming, and Lotteries Act.
KFC this summer, we are bucking together. All I vibe with your crew, yeah, we are stay true, the taste is so good. KFC, bucky on the ends with the real one. My island, we are world champion. All we connect with the KFC. Jamrock celebrate with we. KFC, we are bucking together.
Let's bucket together with KFC. Enjoy a Family 9, Family 12, Party 15, or Party 21 bucket because sharing a bucket with friends tastes finger-licking good. KFC.
This is the World Championships Athletes Profile.
The Jamaican starts well. Here's Shanika Ricketts, silver medalist. This is round one for Ricketts, who hit the board really well.
Triple jumper Shanika Ricketts will be attending her 5th World Championships as she leads Jamaica's medal charge in the event in Tokyo, Japan in September. The 33-year-old former Vere Technical High School standout appeared at the 2015, 17, 19 and 2022 editions and will be looking for her 3rd medal, having bagged silver in Doha and Eugene. Jamaica's reigning Sportswoman of the Year has won medals at every major global championships, her biggest moment coming at the Paris Olympic Games in 2024, where she won silver.
Shanika Ricketts, twice a World Championship silver medalist, flies down the runway, hit the board brilliantly. Oh, Ricketts turns up to the party.
Ricketts is unquestionably one of the true global stars of the event, and she's steadily building into her season. Who'll bet against her finally hitting the top of the podium in the Japanese capital?
Every season the aim is to be on top of the podium. This season is nothing different, and I think I have too many silver medals now. I'm going for the gold this time.
Ricketts will be in action on day number 4 of competition in Japan on September 14. The final is 2 days later on September 16.
I think it's just about grit and just putting in the work. It doesn't matter what happens before you go into major championships, it's just what happens on the day. And the only way you can control that is by being consistent. So that's what I'm focused on doing.
Follow Shanika Ricketts at the World Championships in Japan on Nationwide 90 FM.
That was the World Championships Athletes Profile.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. Jamaica's national under-7, under-14 girls football team, they beat rivals Trinidad and Tobago 3-1 at the Hazley Crawford Stadium this afternoon to finish top of Group B in the Caribbean Football Union Challenge Series. The young Jamaican girls ended the preliminary stage with maximum points from their 3 games, having earlier beaten Bermuda and Aruba 1-0. Alicia Dunn, Chanel Walters, and Tiana Grant got the goals for Jamaica.
Spin out, but here it comes again. Done. Into Walters. Trying to fashion half yard to get a shot. It does come out. And it wrong for Benjamin. And it's Alicia Dunn benefiting from the layoff. Wide. And around her defender. Skips it inside. Surely. London. Strikes from Trinidad and Tobago. In fact, it's Henry. All the good work was done by London. Back in the direction of the Trinidad and Tobago goal, though. Settles now for Dunn. And maybe Walters in traffic. Earns a half yard of space. And dispatches a shot beyond Benjamin. Fine skill from Walters. Whacked in by the left foot of Grant. And it's in from all of 35 yards. What a strike that is. Jamaica finished top of Group B with their 3rd win in as many matches.
Jamaica will next face Puerto Rico on Friday in the semi-finals. National champions Cavalier will begin the defense of their CONCACAF Caribbean Club Championship title tonight. They will play away to Cibao of the Dominican Republic. The game kicks off in just about 40 or 50 minutes from now. Cavalier are without 10 players who helped them to the title last year, which is just sure to test the mettle of their coaching staff, led by sporting director Rudolph Speed, who is under no illusion as to what awaits them in the group.
It's just as one of the winners. I think we're in winner bet. So I don't think there's any chasing here. Anybody going in front is just as one of predators in there.
Rudolph Speed, another Jamaican, St. Anne-based Mount Pleasant Academy, will also be in action at the National Stadium here in Kingston against former champions SV Robin Hood of Suriname. That game also kicks off at 7 o'clock. Mount Pleasant sporting director Paul Christie says the team is built to perform much better than it did last year.
The strategy is to have best talent in Jamaica, to represent not just Jamaica, but to give a good account for the Caribbean and be able to compete at the CONCACAF level with the Americans and the Mexicans, so that Jamaica is not just a team that shows up, but actually is able to participate and compete.
Sporting director at Mount Pleasant, Paul Christie. Liverpool's Egyptian superstar Mohamed Salah created history on Tuesday when he won the Professional Football Writers Football Association Player of the Year award. It was Salah's 3rd time winning the award, the first player to do that. Salah played a key role in Liverpool's Premier League title success last season and was also the league's top scorer with 29 goals, and he provided 18 assists. Salah's Liverpool teammate Alexis McAllister, Manchester United captain Bruno Fernandes, Newcastle striker Alexander Isak, Chelsea striker Cole Palmer, and the Arsenal midfielder Declan Rice were also on the shortlist. Aston Villa's brilliant midfielder Morgan Rogers was named the Young Player of the Year, the 5th Aston Villa player to be named to that award. Keshav Maharaj claimed his first one-day international career 5-wicket haul and to help steer South Africa to an emphatic 98-run win over Australia in Cairns on Tuesday. Maharaj bagged 5 for 33 as Australia set 297 to win, were bowled out for 198 in 40 overs, and this despite a superb knock of 88 from their captain Mitchell Marsh. Ben Duarshu weighed in with 33 for the Aussies, who were suffering their heaviest runs defeat at home since 1991. Nandre Berger and Lungi Ngidi bagged 2 wickets apiece for South Africa, and the South Africans had earlier posted the highest one-day score at the venue, 296. Aiden Markram bagged 87, the captain Temba Bavuma 65, and Matthew Breitz 57. They all weighed in with impressive half centuries. Travis Head claimed 4 for 57, bowling for Australia.
This is Nationwide's World Championships Countdown.
Yeah, as the countdown continues to the World Athletics Championships in the Japanese capital, Tokyo, September 13 to 21. Nationwide 90 FM, who'll be carrying the 9-day spectacle, looks at the breakdown in prize monies
for the event. There's a total prize pot of US $8,498,000. The gold medal winners will each take home $70,000. For silver, you'll get half of that, $35,000, and the bronze medal winners will collect $22,000. There is a bonus. If you break the world record, you'll bag $100,000. And the event will feature over 2,000 athletes from 200 countries competing in various track and field disciplines in 50 different athletics events, including stadium and road races.
That was Nationwide's World Championship Countdown.
Yeah, Ms. Chin, you did talk about Rashid McDonald and the showboating, which probably might cost him a place at the World Championships in Tokyo. Really should have gotten that 44.85 at the National Championship. He messed around, came back in 44.89, and he's traveling around the world trying to get that qualifying standard. The last attempt was on Sunday in Freeport, the Bahamas. Let's hope he gets it for his sake, because he's been a real good servant for Jamaica's athletics. All right, finally in sports at this time, Jamaica will on Wednesday continue to search for its first win of the West Indies Rising Stars Regional Under-17 Cricket Championship when they take on the host Trinidad and Tobago at the National Cricket Centre starting at 9 a.m. Jamaica time. The young Jamaicans lost to Barbados in the last outing, and this was on the back of a draw with the Leeward Islands in their opening game of the tournament. In other third-round matches starting on Wednesday, Guyana will face off with the Leewards at Inchanali Park, while Barbados will take on the Windward Islands at Queen's Park Oval. That's sports.
For all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612-5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is
6:19.
Since 1995, we've been your go-to source for everything related to billiards, amusement machines, and electronics. With locations at 1A Lindsay Terrace, Kingston 10, and the Village Plaza, Big Bridge, Savannah, Lamar, we offer top-quality pool table parts and accessories, cutting-edge gaming machines, and more. We also specialize in assembly, sales, and service of amusement machines. We provide unmatched customer service, expert solutions, and products tailored to your needs. Who are we? We are Eclipse Enterprise. Telephone 876-960-3891.
Registered voters, do you know where to vote on election day? To find out, you may call our toll-free number at 888-991-VOTE. That's 888-991-8683. Or visit our website at ecj.com.jm. Select Query Voters List and enter the required information. Free and fair elections. It's up to you. That was an important announcement from the Electoral Commission of Jamaica.
Enough power tool, big to small. Jackama figure dig the wall. Our Total Tools. Beat walker figure trim the lawn. We have everything a job demand. Total Tools. We rent them, sell them and fix them. Also give Total Tools a call. When I say home improvement, landscape construction, or Total Tools are your option. Home improvement, landscape construction, Total Tools are your option.
Total Tools located at 102 Main Street, Ocho Rios, 34 Slipe Road, Kingston.
And lot C6 Jacksaw, Sentence Bay. Call us today.
Want to save money and still protect your engine? Get Chevron Supreme Sin Blend Motor Oil, the blue bottle with a silver stripe. Now upgraded to synthetic blend, so your engine runs cleaner, longer, and stronger. Now available island-wide at service stations and leading auto parts stores. Ask for Chevron Motor Oil, your favorite blue bottle with a silver stripe. That's Chevron Sin Blend, your engine good friend.
If it's in the public's interest, it's the nation's business during Nationwide at 5. The nation's business.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Good evening, and welcome to Public Opinion. I'm Robianne Williams. A special good evening to our YouTubers. Thank you so much for tuning in, for staying with us. We ask you to weigh in live in the comments section on today's Public Opinion. So, all eyes are on the national debates. Yeah? There will be 3 debates on social issues, the economy, and leadership. Damon Crawford, Raymond Price, and Sophia Fraser-Binns will form the team for the social issues debate, while Pernell Charles Jr., Kamina Johnson-Smith, and Matthew Samuda will represent the JLP. Now, the social issues debate is set for Saturday, August 23. Then you have the economy debate. The PNP has selected its opposition spokesman on finance, Julian Robinson, as well as Peter Bunting and PNP Treasurer Keisha Anderson. For the JLP, it will be Finance Minister Favour Williams, as well as Dr. Christopher Tufton and Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon. That debate, the economy debate, is set for Tuesday, August 26. The leadership debate, between Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness and Opposition Leader Mark Golding will take place on Thursday, August 28. So we have lots to look forward to. Nomination day is done and dusted. We now have the national debates. And then, D-Day. So our public opinion question today is, which party has the better team heading into the national political debates? I see a lot of comments on our Instagram platform. I'll try to get to as many as I possibly can. Titch Sharno is saying the JLP has the stronger team. Team JLP has better communication skills and the ability to construct well-reasoned arguments. It's Shamoy saying, if we just be honest for once, the PNP has always been the better team when it comes to debate. According to Chintoni, PNP, very knowledgeable team. The PNP has a very knowledgeable team. Paul is questioning better team. You have the promise team and delivery team. All right, let's see. Sweet TT says Jamaica Labour Party has the better team. So too, JB Bradley or DB Bradley. Kai saying One Bro God, and Nick Young Drip believes JLP has the better team going into the national political debates. Sunflower Francis is saying, all I know is that I want to make sure I am present for the social debate. The Labour Party will face Raymond and Crawford. I don't think the PM can manage that. Okay. Let me see if I can have this one. PNP says Chrissy. The People's National Party says Taylor. Marky G says Kimani. Nadia saying the People's National Party. Ronaldo Johnson saying that the JLP has the better team. I thought we found this out after the debates. Yeah, but I mean, to each his own. If you feel as though we're talking about the team and the strength and maybe the weaknesses of the members. Let me see. Shanti is saying it really doesn't matter who have the stronger team. It's who is going to use facts and who have the better argument that will win the debate. That's all I'm interested in. And I'm glad Shanti mentioned facts, because in this day and age, facts are important. And the ability to check the facts are important as well. All right, JLP, God bless Doll says, Kenny One is also saying JLP has the better team, no doubt. Calls Queeve is saying JLP, they are more comfortable going into this debate because they have put in the work and have much more to talk about. They implement stuff and are not angry. They have good reasoning ability. According to King Kells, JLP clearly has the better team and she's questioning who watched the last election debate. Yeah? Nigel demolished Mark and so will Andrew this time around, as he is a way more seasoned speaker. All right, let me see on our Facebook platform if I can get some of the comments. Which party has the better team heading into the national political debates? Set to happen this weekend, yeah? The first one is set to happen on Saturday. To our Facebook comments, Jay Pelly is saying JLP. However, you have to be specific in regards to PNP. Remember, it's a party within a party. Okay. Clifton is saying, who will be on both teams? Tradition always has he's saying the PNP traditionally always has a better team. Last time Clark mash up Marky G, Dr. Andrew I go teach Marky G a political lesson. That's according to Clifton Ricardo Russell. Kurt Powell says JLP has the stronger team. They will be coming with facts and records of achievement. Judith Thorpe saying, looking back at previous debate, I strongly believe the PNP has the better team. In previous debate, the PNP mostly answered from memory. The JLP answered from a written script like they got the questions beforehand. That's according to Judith Thorpe, not me. Andre Green is saying PNP has L.A. Lewis Crawford. Wow, it must be a comedy show, says Andre. Christine is saying definitely the Jamaica Labour Party has the better team. Scrolling through to see, Sandra Palmer is saying team choose JLP with 1 p.m. at control. Philip Jackson is saying the proof of the pudding is in the taste. Achievement stands taller than promises. Well, one would think, Philip, that you have to make the promises and then achieve them. But yeah, I get what you're saying. The proof of the pudding is in the taste. Noreen Thompson is saying JLP, of course, better, stronger and effective team. Andrew and the A team. Let's see what our YouTubers are saying. Which party has the better team heading into the national political debates? Okay, Wise Emissary saying Tufton always going to be tough. PM will take Mark Golding back to basic school, says Rose McCullough. Sandra Murray saying the only thing Price coming with are some big words and the masses won't even understand. Cynthia Matheson is saying JLP functioning from performance. Speechless questioning who watched the budget debate. No phone will be available for you, Mark Golding. Let me see if I can get in some more. JLP, says Carl Welsh. Carl Welsh is saying the JLP has the better team. So too Dwayne Woody saying JLP has always have a better team. Achievement. PNP are storytellers, according to Dwayne. Superintendent says it's 1A team, and that's the JLP. Nikki Willie is saying better is not important because PNP is coming to cuss, not debate. Plus, what do they have to debate? Facts will win the debate. Yeah? A lot of comments coming in on this one. JLP have the best team, says Start Girl. Devon Dawkins says Mark Golding. Wow, Devon. Okay, better is not important. We get that, Nikki Willie. You're saying facts matter. Ken Youth is saying the JLP has the better team because they have the facts and achievements to show. Well, all in all, I look forward to the debates. It's going to be very interesting leading up to the September 3 polls. So we hope to see what comes out of it. And some would ask the question, does it make a difference? Do these national debates, do they make any difference, especially to those who are undecided? Well, I will tell you to watch it. You cannot make a statement to say, oh, it's not necessary, unless you give it a watch, give it a listening ear, give it an eye or two, and make informed choices in terms of who you feel or who better managed themselves. So give it a watch, give it a listen, and see what comes out of it. Shine's Law Boss is saying it's not about team, it's about achievement and good governance. Bridge Mar is saying absolutely the JLP will come with facts, not propaganda. Student for Life saying, as I say, people will say it doesn't make a difference. And Student for Life is saying he doesn't think, he doesn't think it makes any difference. Juliet Sanchez is saying hope NNN will have a check facts discussion after the debate. Carlene Smith is saying she will definitely be watching the debates. Yeah, man. No knock it till you not try it. Watch the debates. See what they are made of. Yeah? If any at all. See what they're made of and then make your decisions going forward as it relates to who you feel handled themselves better. Wally says JLP, of course. Alfred saying no comedy. The JLP has the better team. Okay, let's see. We watch America debates, so watch Jamaica debates. Exactly. Let's look forward to the debates, because I'm truly looking forward to it. I think it will definitely be an interesting three interesting debates. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for participating in the public opinion discussion this evening. Oh, we don't have no more time, so the business report is up next.
Public Opinion was brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Drive the most exciting new vehicles in Jamaica. Schedule your 2024 Ford Ranger pickup or Ford Everest 7-seater SUV test drive now. Call or visit KIG today.
The time by KIG is
6:33.
Visit Marshall's Pharmacy, Greater Portmore, for all your prescription needs, gifts, personal care, household, and stationery items. The temperature by Marshall's Pharmacy, Greater Portmore is
31 degrees Celsius in Kingston and 30 out west in Montego Bay. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Nationwide's Business Report. I'm Robianne Williams. The Jamaican economy recorded modest growth over the second quarter of 2025. This as the country continues its economic recovery. According to data from the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ, the country's gross domestic product, GDP, increased by 1.4% over the corresponding period of 2024. This was driven primarily by significant gains in agriculture, which outperformed its pre-hurricane barrel growth numbers. Flight crew at Air Canada have ended a dispute with the airline, which had grounded flights and stranded thousands of passengers since Saturday. A tentative agreement was announced by the union representing flight attendants and confirmed by the airline, which said flights will resume on Tuesday. More than 10,000 staff had walked out in protest at pay and scheduling. The deal has not been disclosed in full, though the union said it achieves transformational change for workers and the industry. The agreement will now be presented to members to be ratified. And finally, in the currency markets at the close of trading today, it cost 161 Jamaican dollars and 71 cents to buy $1 US, 219 Jamaican dollars and 52 cents to buy $1 British pound, and 118 Jamaican dollars and 72 cents to buy the Canadian dollar. That's the business report. I'm Robianne Williams. Good evening.
The following is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
More homes, better schools, safer communities, and more Jamaicans are working than ever before. The Jamaica Labour Party laid the foundation. Now it's time to keep building. We can't afford to go backward. Put your X beside the bell. Vote JLP. They're doing more for you, and they're not done yet.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
You know what's sweet? The New Pack Sweet Living Promotion. Win great prizes. Living room set, or bedroom set, or kitchen appliance set, plus 2 consolation prizes of AC units. Send in 5 New Pack labels or receipts. Labels must belong to at least the New Pack canned beans or peas, New Pack ketchup, and New Pack oil categories. Fill out the tagline, New Pack, more than just value. Place your entry in one of the drop boxes at participating outlets. Enter by mail or online at newpackjamaica.com. Time to live sweet. Enter the New Pack Sweet Living Promotion, July 13th to September 6th. See the press for more details. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
KFC this summer, we are bucking together. All I vibe with your crew, yeah, we are stay true, the taste is so good. KFC, bucky on the ends with the real one. My island, we are world champion. All of we connect with the KFC. Jamrock celebrate with we. KFC, we are bucking together.
Let's buck it together with KFC. Enjoy a Family 9, Family 12, Party 15, or Party 21 bucket, because sharing a bucket with friends tastes finger-licking good. KFC.
This message is brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Do you have the financing to support a long-term investment program in water? And the answer to that is yes, because we have managed the economy in such a way as to be able to do that. we deliberately make a point of every week either breaking ground, handing over, turning on, not announcing, because it shows you the track record of delivery. So you can have faith in that yes, you don't have it now, but there is a program in place backed by good fiscal management so that it can project the revenues into the future to support the future project. And that's what you want. You want government policy with endurance.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
The wait is over. Spark is coming to you. Across Jamaica, we'll be fixing 10 roads per constituency. Over 100 roads will be fixed by September and 630 roads overall. This is real action, real improvement, real results. Every Jamaican deserves safer, stronger roads. Spark, the next chapter in Jamaica's infrastructure development.
Want to save money and still protect your engine? Get Chevron Supreme Sin Blend Motor Oil, the blue bottle with a silver stripe. Now upgraded to synthetic blend, so your engine runs cleaner, longer, and stronger. Now available island-wide at service stations and leading auto parts stores. Ask for Chevron Motor Oil, your favorite blue bottle with a silver stripe. That's Chevron Sin Blend, your engine good friend.
Stay ahead in your career with UWI-STAR, the short-term advancement resource center. Our programs are designed to support your professional growth. Join our community of professionals and take the next step in your career. Visit our website, www.mona.uwi.edu/short-courses to learn more about the continuing professional education programs of UWI-STAR.
Right the star.
Good evening. It is 6:39 on the cusp of 6:40, and it is time for the nation's business. I'm Siobhan Campbell. We're still on the economy, but we're focusing on agriculture. The Jamaican economy recorded modest growth for the second quarter of 2025. This as the country continues its economic recovery. According to data from the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ, the country's gross domestic product to GDP increased by 1.4% over the corresponding period of 2024. The PIOJ's Director General, Dr. Wayne Henry, says this was driven primarily by significant gains in agriculture, which outperformed its pre-Hurricane Beryl growth numbers.
Today, we are reporting that the Jamaican economy recorded an estimated growth of 1.4% compared with the corresponding quarter, April to June of 2024. The outturn for the review quarter largely reflected continued growth in most industries: agriculture, forestry and fishing, and the accommodation and food services industries. Two industries that were hardest hit by the weather-related disruptions of 2024 were key drivers of this positive performance. Both industries have entered into a new growth phase, with current output levels surpassing their pre-Hurricane Beryl output levels.
That's Dr. Wayne Henry. He says growth was driven primarily by gains in the goods-producing sectors of 3.8%. Dr. Henry says agriculture was the standout performer, nearing double-digit gains for the quarter.
The goods-producing industry grew by an estimated 3.8%, with improved performances recorded for 3 of the 4 industries, namely agriculture, forestry and fishing, manufacturing, and construction. The mining and quarrying industry was estimated to have recorded a contraction due to weakened demand and technical challenges. Agriculture, forestry, and fishing, real value added for the agriculture industry, grew by an estimated 9.8%. This outturn primarily reflected the impact of more favorable weather conditions, which contributed to an increase in output per hectare and an 11% expansion in the area of domestic crops reaped.
Dr. Wayne Henry, Director General of the PIOJ. Well, joining us to discuss further is the Minister of Agriculture himself, Floyd Green. Good evening, Sir Green.
Evening, Siobhan. Evening to all the listeners and viewers.
So 9.8% for the second quarter, Sir Green. That is quite impressive, even considering we are recovering from Beryl, because this is quarter-on-quarter growth. What led this impressive performance?
Well, I think one of the things that we are seeing is that we are building resilience in our agricultural sector. I think the work that we have been doing from the ministry, along with RADA, and of course our farmers, have ensured that we can recover quicker from these major blows to the sector. Not only did we go through Hurricane Beryl, which was about $7 billion in losses, but we also went through Tropical Storm Raphael, which came at the point that we were looking to rebuild from Beryl. So I think part of what we're seeing is, one, the response of the government. We have built up economic stability and have put in place measures such as insurance packages, so that when we look to respond to these weather-related events now, we don't only have to look at the resources of the ministry, but we have external resources flowing to us. You would remember that we had announced a $1.4 billion recovery program, and as such, we're able to get out to the farmers to help them with seeds, to help them with greenhouse material, to help them start afresh. And I think we're reaping some of that now. Additionally, we have been doing things to combat some of the long-standing issues. So clearly, we're treating with our water-related issues. So we have been expanding our irrigation networks. So you would remember in April, the Prime Minister would have formally opened the Parnassus irrigation scheme, which is 700 acres of land now under irrigation cover. And all of those lands have now been leased to the Agri-Invest Corporation, and farmers are literally out there farming and producing. So I think we're seeing some of that, our investments in irrigation, which, again, these are major investments, billions of dollars, which would have taken time to put in wells, put in pipes. We're now reaping some of those returns. So I think it speaks to the resilience that we're building, and also to the fact that we really have farmers who, despite the challenges, despite good times, bad times, they're willing to get back up, to go out there and to do what they love, produce food for the nation.
Well, what stood out to me, Sir Green, was that this 9.8% was recorded even in a situation where what is considered one of the major cash crops, sugarcane, is declined over that same quarter. Have we now successfully done such a point where our agriculture is properly diversified, so we don't have to rely on any specific crop being the leader?
Well, we have seen significant diversification, and it's a point that probably misses some of us, because sometimes people look at the Jamaican agricultural sector and they're quick to say, boy, banana is not where it used to be, sugarcane is not where it used to be, and they look at that and think it means that the sector is in decline. But they don't look at the growth in things like yam. They don't look at the fact that over the last 3 years, 4 years of our onion production program, we have a direct program to support onion production. We've seen over 300% growth in our production numbers for onion. So we are diversified in a big way. We know that yam is our number one exports. We're also seeing great growth now in sweet potato. We're seeing the rebound of, the resurgence of planting. That is a big area for us now. I did mention onion. So there are a lot more crops other than some of the traditional crops that we're seeing great growth in. And also, that goes for the livestock sector. We're seeing significant growth in our small ruminant sector, our goats and sheep, and that is as a result of direct government programming. So clearly we would have reduced the duty for people to bring in breeds so that we can drive the quality of our small ruminant stock. We would have a small ruminant program that goes in and help with artificial insemination. We've been building up our research center capacity and bringing these breeds into our research center so that we can then put them out into the field. So I think a lot of those things are coming together. And I think what is most impressive, Siobhan, and again might miss people, is that we are seeing our highest ever production in these quarters. So in the January quarter, we surpassed the 220,000 tons mark, which was like the gold standard for us in terms of a quarter production. But in this last quarter, we actually surpassed 230,000 tons in terms of our production. So yes, it is a testament to the diversification and the fact that we are growing rapidly.
may I switch for a moment, Floyd Green, because you're also the Minister of Mining, right? And the PIOJ reported today that mining and quarrying declined for the second quarter of this year. When will we see the end of that decline?
We had a good year last year for mining and quarrying, and we had a good year the year before. In fact, the year before, our mining sector and its rebound actually held up our growth figures. And this is despite having challenges with some of our plants regarding, you would remember that Jamaica had a major fire. We have been having some technical challenges across a number of the plants since the start of the year. Unfortunately, Jamaica just announced to Century that they're going to be investing $30 million of United States dollars over the course of the next couple of years to do some renovation on their plant, critical work to bring down their cost of production and to drive up their growth figures. So I think that will take train later on in this year, and we will see a return to growth. Our other companies have been holding firm. Yuaton have been holding firm, fairly consistent, even though they had the wind arc issue recently with the train derailment. But their numbers have been holding consistent over in St. Anne. A company there has been through ups and downs. Again, not necessarily of the making of Jamaica, but external challenges that they're facing. I think the PIOJ did highlight that there were some external issues in relation to demand and clearly pricing issues. So what we have been seeing, and I've met with all of the companies, what we are forecasting is that later on this year we should see a return to growth. We are expecting to see the phase reopening of Alpat start in the end of this year. Clearly, they will have to do a lot of renovation work before they get back to production, but they have written to me to outline that they plan to start that by the latest December this year. So I think we will see a much better next year in relation to our mining sector. Quarrying isn't doing badly, actually, and we have some arrangements on the horizon in relation to the exploitation of aggregate using some of the assets that are already present on ports. I would have done a visit 2 weeks ago with an American and Jamaican investor down there in St. Elizabeth, so Manchester, looking at using some of those assets that we currently have to drive the exploitation of aggregate. So again, I think we will see it picking up over the next 2 quarters, and definitely next year will be a better year for mining and quarrying.
Minister Green, while I understand the importance of getting these plants back online, but we've utilized the bauxite industry up to this point primarily as an extractive industry. When are we going to move towards a more value added, or is that simply just not feasible in Jamaica?
I think now there would be real questions of feasibility based on the quantity of reserves that we have left. And clearly any investor is going to take that into account. The majority of our plants do alumina production. Clearly one would have preferred if we had gone the full gamut decades ago to the aluminum production. But at this stage that might be challenging. I think what we have to do is a couple of things. There's no doubt that when a bauxite plant is in operation, that it does benefit significantly the communities in terms of employment, in terms of just the indirect spill-off of business operation. We've seen that in Nain, Myersville Junction, and what has happened since Alberta has closed down. So the boost from getting those companies back to full potential, getting Jamaica back to its full potential in terms of production is important from an economic standpoint in terms of job numbers. And also remember that our mining sector does pay the highest average salaries across any industry. That's important. But more than that, we are doing a better job of repurposing formerly mined bauxite lands. I think we've developed a model now combining agriculture and mining. So we now have greenhouse clusters across a number of our mining zones. The most popular one is the content cluster, over there in Manchester, former mining lands that we put greenhouses on. We've used some of the pits that were dug to make water catchment facilities. And I can tell you, for example, the content cluster is helping to drive these agriculture growth numbers because they strip their greenhouse for burial, so they suffered minimal damage, able to put back on their plastics to get back out there and made good returns in the time that produce was hard to reach, to come by. So we are using those models, and we have earmarked some funds this year to expand those greenhouse clusters in places like Clarendon, North Clarendon, and other constituencies.
Mr. Green, you did say earlier the long-term future of bauxite, especially if we are to shift from being an extractive industry to more tertiary producers. We have a problem in terms of reserves. What are the proven reserves we now have left?
We do have a problem, but we do have reserves that, based on the technical expertise, look to 20, 25 years. Some people say 30 years. But again, what you said, bauxite is a long-term industry. So the companies that have been operating, as you know, some of them would have started from the 1950s into the 60s. And as such,
so it's not about the quantity of reserves we have left then. So what is the other factor that would mitigate?
No, so again, when you're looking at the investment to go to full value addition, to go to moving from alumina to aluminum, you have to look at what would it require in terms of costs, the amount of time you would need to get a return on that investment, and whether the reserves that we know have would give you that sufficient time. So clearly we still push value addition, and that is part of our policy mandate. The policy that we put forward for our minerals policy, the number one priority is value addition, and part of what we're trying to do with our quarry operators is also to get them to look at our limestone mining, to look at value addition. Again, we do have chemical grade limestone.
But just to be sure, Minister, is the problem is not reserves. Therefore, the problem is energy, cost of energy.
One of the major problems is the cost of energy. So to put it in context, what I was saying, Cliff, is that any investor will look at value addition or going further than alumina will have to look at what the investment would cost against their ability to get a return on that investment. And clearly, they would look at the length of time that they have to recoup that return. So one of the big major issues is the cost of energy, which, as you know, the government is committed to treat with that issue, and the Minister of Energy has been very strong on the point that, once we get the chance to renegotiate this license, that the cost of energy is something that is holding back our manufacturing sector in general. The Prime Minister has spoken about it. And clearly the bauxite and alumina sector is one that over the years.
Thank you very much, Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Floyd Green. Thank you, sir.
Anytime, thanks.
Good. Well, let's go to the break and come back with more. This is Nationwide at 5.
It's Monday, get over your blues. Or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The E-Zone is here for you. With the Stinger Honeybee
and Karim Boyating
from 3 to 5 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM.
We've got your entertainment news.
Then we want to hear your views. Why you said?
Jump in the mix.
Or the hot seat.
Don't miss our brain busters.
Or the crazy giveaways.
Let's talk fashion.
Send us your outfit of the day. Ooh, cutesy. Very demure.
Are you looking for love?
Come on one of our blind dates. Send your request to ezoneblindates@gmail.com. That's ezoneblindates@gmail.com.
And stay tuned for your confessions.
These are my confessions. Share them with us at ezoneconfessions@yahoo.com. I mean, is this planet Earth?
Is it?
I don't know. Let me check. Either way, it's got a buzz.
And a bugger thing.
Ow! Ow!
Do you have a consumer-related issue?
Want to learn more about matters concerning you as a consumer? Well, keep it locked to Nationwide 90 FM for the Consumer Hour with me, Nora Gay Banton, weekdays from 9 to 10 a.m. For all your consumer-centric matters, stay tuned to the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
You hear, say Nationwide back to school fair get pushed back to August 23?
What? Push back? Lord, man, me need ready to go Harmony Beach Park, you know.
Yeah, man, but them push it back to make it bigger and better. More vibes, more giveaways, and more things for everybody enjoy.
So tell me something, the book swaps still go on?
Yes, man. Still bring the books the kids don't need, and them can swap it for the ones them can use. Plus, them are gonna have health screening, school supplies for buy, banks and location, and enough giveaways.
Alright, me like the sound of that. But anything else I want?
Then no must. Me hear say them have domino tournament, scavenger hunt, and beer things for the whole family. So make sure you register.
Register? So how me have to go register now for go in if it's free?
Because once you register, you automatically get entered to win the grand prize in the special raffle.
Me have to go call up some of my friends them cause we can't miss this. So tell me now, what the new date?
August 23, same place, Harmony Beach, Montego Bay, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nationwide 90 FM's Back to School Fair. Bigger, better, and full of vibes.
The NNN Back to School Fair is brought to you by KFC, Massey Distribution Jamaica Limited, Cozy Corner, Phoenix Vision Center, the Jamaica Public Service, the Jamaica Customs Agency, the Urban Development Corporation, Friends of the Mayor's Parlor, JTA Credit Union, Stewart's Automotive, J&J Pharmacy, Budget Car Rental, Digicel Foundation, Sun Life Tours, Pop Fashion Limited, Charm West Limited, Discount Lumber and Hardware Limited, All American Institute of Medical Sciences, 876 Slushy Delight, CNWJ Cooperative Credit Union Limited, Pier 1 on the Waterfront, the University of Technology Jamaica Western Campus, MK Lux Events, Deja All-Inclusive Resort, Henderson's Bookstore, The Comfy Girl Collection, Nation's Choice, Confectionery Snacks, Pizza Hut, and JN Bank.
Truth is, you can live life to the fullest with HIV. This time signal is brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. The time is...
It's 7 o'clock. We're now into the third and final hours, listeners, and we turn now to another topical discussion, and that is the country's murder tally, which since the start of the year has now dropped by 43%. That's according to the latest crime data from the Jamaica Constabulary Force, or Shalois Michael reports.
Up to August 16, 422 homicides had been committed across the island. That's 318 fewer than the 740 murders recorded in the corresponding period last year. The JCF says St. Andrews South remains a hot spot, leading the country's murder tally with 50. The division recorded 51 fewer murders than the 87 committed in the period last year. According to the force, shootings also saw a major decline. The JCF says shootings dropped by 35%, coming in at 436. It's over 200 fewer than the 677 recorded in the similar period last year. St. James took the top spot with the highest drop in both major crimes. According to the force, the division recorded 51 fewer murders than the 87 committed in the period last year. In relation to shootings, St. James had 48 fewer incidents than the 83 recorded up to August 16 last year. The only other major crime to report a decline is rape, which is down by 25%. However, the JCF says break-ins and robberies are still increasing. Both major crimes rose by 26% and 9% respectively up to August 16. Shalois Michael for Nationwide News.
So thank you, Shaloy. So yes, listeners, it's interesting. We had a discussion earlier today in the production meetings. If the listeners could hear some of the spirited discussions we have in the earlier parts of the day, but there was a question as when does the news become mundane? And you were quite
the reduction in murders.
Yes, when does good news become mundane news that we should stop reporting it? And you were quite up in arms about this, and I can agree because a 43% reduction, even if it is now month after month after month that we've been reporting this figure, it should not be scoffed at, considering where we are coming from in terms of Jamaican society. So yes, we should still repeatedly point out that this is a significant achievement on the part of the police, the government, and Jamaicans as a whole, where we can comfortably say now that we will end the year, it seems, with a reduction over 40% in the murder rate.
All right, and I think what we have here in front of us, the murder stats with a breakdown of the parishes. Yes, for example, in Westmoreland in 2024 up to now, there were 64 murders. Now that is down to 26, a decline of 59.4%. In Hanover, up to 2024 this time, it was 37 people killed. Now, that's 14, a decline of 62%. St. James, 87 this time last year. Now, that figure is down to 36, a 58.6% decline in St. James.
In Trelawney, it was 16 last year. It's down to 9, 7 less. That is a 43% decline. However, St. Anne, it seems to be on par year over year, so there's no change there. And unfortunately, St. Mary has seen a slight increase, 3 murders more for 2025 to sit at 18.8% increase.
And so too Portland, moving from 7 last year to now 8 this year. St. Elizabeth, 21 last year, now down to 9 this year, a decline of more than 57%. Manchester, 30 last year, now down to 17, a decline of more than 43%. Clarendon, it was 50 last year, now down to 22, a decline of 56%.
And same in Kingston Eastern, it was 39 last year, it's now 15 in 2025, a decrease of 24 for a decrease of 61%. Kingston Central, 18 last year, 12 this year, less 6, 33% down. Kingston Western, 43% down. That's 18 less murders for 2025, down from 41. St. Andrew Central, similar story, 49 murders last year. It's 22 this year, a 27% decrease, well, a 55% decrease with 27 less murders.
And it goes on like that for the rest of the parishes.
However, there is two statistics that do concern me, Cliff, and that is robberies and break-ins. While the overall trend in terms of violent crimes is down significantly, that's 25%. That is the categories of murders, shootings, rapes, and persons injured. The robbery and break-ins, though, have both gone up this year compared to last year. Robberies are up 10%, that is 40 more from 2024, and break-ins are up 26%. That's 547 in 2024 to 692 in 2025. That statistic is concerning.
Yep. All right, you're listening to Nationwide at 5. After the break, we will take your calls. All right, the numbers to call us, 876-63093, 7124 or 618-8255.
Keep it cool, keep it cool. Summertime hot, but we have all the tools. Keep it cool, keep it cool. Enough ways to save, you just have to choose. Stay out of the fridge, just use a igloo. Remember your Kisco ice handy juice. The fan AC combo, yeah, I hit that. AC for a bit, then a fan after that. Keep it cool, keep it cool. This summer JPS have all the tools. Keep you cool with JPS. Download the JPS app today.
Remember to take your new voter ID card to the polling station on election day. You may still vote without your ID card, but the process will be faster if you have it with you. If you don't have your ID card, you must answer questions, be fingerprinted, and take an oath before you can vote. Bring your voter ID card and make it easier on yourself and others. That was a message from the Electoral Commission of Jamaica.
This is the World Championships Athletes Profile.
The Jamaican starts well. Here's Shanika Ricketts, silver medalist. This is round one for Ricketts. Oh, hit the board really well.
Triple jumper Shanika Ricketts will be attending her 5th World Championships as she leads Jamaica's medal charge in the event in Tokyo, Japan in September. The 33-year-old former Vere Technical High School standout appeared at the 2015, 17, 19 and 2022 editions and will be looking for her 3rd medal, having bagged silver in Doha and Eugene. Jamaica's reigning Sportswoman of the Year has won medals at every major global championships, her biggest moment coming at the Paris Olympic Games in 2024, where she won silver.
Shanika Ricketts, twice a World Championship silver medalist, flies down the runway, hits the board brilliantly. Oh, Ricketts turns up to the party.
Ricketts is unquestionably one of the true global stars of the event, and she's steadily building into her season. Who'll bet against her finally hitting the top of the podium in the Japanese capital?
Every season the aim is to be on top of the podium. This season is nothing different, and I think I have too many silver medals now. I'm going for the gold this time.
Ricketts will be in action on day number 4 of competition in Japan on September 14. The final is 2 days later on September 16.
I think it's just about grit and just putting in the work. It doesn't matter what happens before you go into major championships, it's just what happens on the day. And the only way you can control that is by being consistent. So that's what I'm focused on doing.
Follow Shanika Ricketts at the World Championships in Japan on Nationwide 90 FM.
That was the World Championships Athletes Profile.
The NHT is lending up to $12 million for homes priced at $14 million or less, making home ownership more accessible for Jamaicans. We are building Jamaica.
The time by the Office of the Prime Minister is...
It's 7:09.
Okay, it's time for your calls now. And our first call of the evening is Cedric. Good evening, Cedric.
Good evening.
Hello?
How are you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
All right. I'm saying I am a CEO of a company that has a board on it, and I want to implement something, but it has to be ratified by the board. I put before the board, and the board rejects it. Do I have the authority to go and say no, put it in, let go still?
Do I have the authority to do what?
To implement it, even though the board are the trustees are the way call them, the people in charge are, do they make the final decision? It's like a general meeting. General meeting said no, we don't want that to be implemented. Can I go ahead and do it without taking their consideration?
Well, I don't think that would be good corporate governance nor leadership, and you would be tempting fate because the board may fire you.
All right, good. That's what I'm talking about now. With the government who said they're gonna put in the fixed election date and impeachment. It was put to the judicial commission. What the government thing, what they're doing now, the large oh man, I tell you, stop now. It was put in the smaller courts mission. Ministry, right? And they talked about it, and they say...
You mean the Constitutional Reform Committee?
Yes. And they recommended not institution at this time. How can they say then that the Prime Minister didn't institute on the fixed election date and impeachment bill that he wanted to implement.
Was it the fixed election that the committee rejected?
I think it was specifically impeachment that was put to the CRC that they said wouldn't function very well in our political climate.
Yes. So you can be blamed for not implementing. He sent it to the committee that should make a decision, and they said no, not at this time. I don't think the blame for not being implemented.
I think in that matter that the committee is not a board. It would be more like an advisory body than to be using the board analogy. So you can ignore what an advisory body say and go ahead.
But it is still about that goals that they go to make an important decision like this.
Yes, but what Siobhan is saying, it does not have any executive power because it's an advisory body. The political executive, as in the government, the cabinet, may or may not accept its advice.
Okay, so you are saying, even though they are experts and they that says no, it is not a good idea based on evidence and all of that. You're saying to go ahead and implement.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
I just want
No, that's not what I'm saying.
All right. Well, that's my point. That is even because everybody is saying it's not done, and it was sent to the board, it was sent to the committee, and they said no, not at this time. But I'm not blaming it for not being implemented right now.
All right. So
that's what my piece for this evening.
Okay, 13 minutes after 7. Who is next? Carl.
Evening.
Good evening, Carl.
Mars Cliff. Evening. I'm asking you, please, as the CEO nationwide, to tell George not to go. And the reason why I'm telling you this, Mr. Hughes, is that what the position that they give to George is that George will be just there. That's if a person is going over the 5 minutes, and say your time is finished. You can't have a brain like George and use it like that. You can't have a brain like Ricardo and use it like that. You can't have a brain like Turner and use it like that. Those, the body now is coming off like the place where they want to send the Prime Minister to prison for not doing anything that is wrong. That's where they find themselves this evening, from today, into full politics. They make the PMP tell them that they must not use George, nor Ricardo, nor Turner to ask questions. And them hold on upon that and come this evening. And all right, make we say then, Mr. Hughes, I'm going to point you out to something. Everybody know in Jamaica know where RJR is standing. We all know RJR. So let us play the politics and play the dumb this evening. Everybody know RJR. And they use 5 personnel duo. One is not working at RJR anymore. Well, that tells you we are not idiot, RJR. We are not idiot out here. George, please do not go. Don't mix up into those type of.
Well, we met as a team, as a newsroom this afternoon, and we considered that. And the decision was made, yes, that we supported George participating in the debate as a moderator for the debate on the economy, because we are of the view that the system of selection is imperfect, but for the greater good of the fledgling democracy that is Jamaica, he should go there. And we are confident that he will do a damn good job, in doing his bit in helping the democracy to develop this system of holding our politicians and our potential leaders to account, let them stand up under scrutiny and explain and, debate. And that's our position. So George will be participating.
Anyhow, all right, ask you a question another way around. George will be asking those people questions, Mr. Hughes?
The principal job of the moderator is not to ask questions. The principal job of the moderator is to keep the debate on track.
Sure, exactly.
But it does not mean as we understand it, that if there's need for a follow-up question or some clarity, or for the moderator to say, with the greatest of respect, you have not answered the question, Mr. Prime Minister. The question is, could you please answer that?
Okay,
the
thank you.
moderator can do that.
If that's the way, Mr. Hughes, then I will give my full support that George should be there. Now that how you explain it to me, Mr. Hughes,
yes, sir.
then I will accept that George must be there.
Yes, sir.
And me tell you something, Mr. Hughes.
And what I would say before you go any further, I would say that the Jamaica Debates Commission must learn from this episode. I heard the chairman, Brian Schmidt, at the media briefing this morning, saying that they reserve the right to choose the journalists and the moderators. Yes? But
I heard him this evening too.
Yes, but that is not clear based on history that I am aware of, where we have allowed the political parties. Yeah, we have ceded too much to the political parties. Yeah, in really influencing the commissioner's decision making about the panel and moderators.
So much to say that they can create red lines as to which deal breakers are allowed on in the panel.
Yes. The commission should take a look at this again, decide that the political parties should have a say on the major rules governing the debates, for example, venue, how long they will go on for. Yes? Will the debaters be asked to stand for the 90 minutes or sit? Will they be allowed to bring notes with them? Will they be allowed to consult during the break with their advisors or handlers? Those are the rules, that the political parties should have a say in determining. But those rules, when decided and agreed, that's it for them. Who will be the moderator or the questioners should be entirely within the remit of the commission. They should not continue the practice of saying, as I heard Brian Schmidt said this afternoon, they share the proposed pool of questioners and panelists with the political parties. That's where you open the door for them to say, no, we don't want John, or we don't want Mary, and we say yes to Andrew. Yeah, I think that should stop.
Because, Mr. Hughes,
yes, sir.
I have spoken to George more than one time, Ricardo also, and Tana. Less with Tana, but both Ricardo and George. And you want to tell me, say, 62 people are going to put up themselves. Because you know, say, me no count one. Because down to Kevin O'Brien said last night that he is a white man, he is a Jew. So you know, say, me no count him. Long time me tell you, say, me no count him. I was not a person of my colors. So me no count. Me say 62. You want to tell me, say, 62 person for that 3 persons for nationwide?
I don't know, sir. I don't know.
And I speak to both George and Ricardo, and I never go to university yet. And I question them and them question me. And you want to tell me, say, 62 persons have put up themselves in a Jamaica to lead a country. I'm afraid of 3 journalists.
Yeah.
That's them have to call them name and say them no want them. And then they went to Mrs.
I will find it very revealing that when confronted this afternoon, to say, why do you oppose the 3 nationwide journalists? Colin Campbell ran, waffled, walked away, and couldn't summon the courage to say it. And you know why? Because he knows it could not stand up to scrutiny. Yeah? And that's why he ducked Mahiri's question earlier today.
And, Mr. Hughes, you know, other people want to come on. You hear how long I tell you about the human wrongs them? You hear one of them open their mouth to the hour, Tuesday with them now.
No.
You hear the human wrongs
Their silence is deafening.
All right. You see, if I did somebody from over JLP, lynch on that Sunday night, blood with our running, blood on fire.
Yes.
It would be blood.
Their silence is deafening.
Fire.
And we now know them.
Silent.
We now know them.
We know them, and we've been telling you that long time, but you
Yes,
know,
you
say
have
no call. We have to have them. We have to have them. Well, then come now, and them are up at 89 Old Hope Road. I have them cup of coffee, and I say how they can sit that the British citizen get on board.
They are the allies. They are the allies.
Thank you. Right. The human ranks them are fast asleep.
The allies are activated.
And let me tell you something. May I go here now? Let me tell you something. The debate commission find themselves in the same position today that the integrity commission did find itself in. People are looking at them now as nobody. You buck up Pantan anywhere, you see him, you just step past him. Him is no. Christy, I see it other day, I just step past it. Because of what them have done.
All right. No. But don't go so far. Don't
You see them nowadays, and you don't see them, Mr. You. And it's the same thing with the human ranks them now. Them are so fast asleep now. Can you imagine what JLP did say, what Colin Campbell say?
Yes.
Blood and fire in Jamaica.
Yes.
Anyhow,
they're behaving like allies.
Yes.
You remember that
23rd, you will not get on board.
That's
23rd of next month, you will not get on a board in a human ranks.
All right, sir. Good. Take care of yourself, Carl.
And it's instructive, you know, Cliff, because I mean, I told you yesterday, how you do something is how you do everything. And I juxtapose it against Mark Golding going in front of his supporters on nomination day and saying that there will not be a government of victimization.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the victimization has already started, and it has been in train against Nationwide News.
And he didn't reject that publicly. Yeah, he didn't say no. Yeah, Colin Campbell said something, took a position, which represented the PNP position, and that is a no-no. He didn't say that.
Ian, good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
We're good.
You know, the Prime Minister, now we've seen where the Topanaris are. The Prime Minister did say they don't have any Topanaris running up. So I guess the Topanaris are at play with the debating commission. Let me tell you something. I love Nationwide, and I love Nationwide family. And I respect every journalist right across the media fraternity. But I just found my love with Nationwide. Fair enough? And I believe that the debating commission erred in a grand opportunity they had to demonstrate a level of fairness. Now, Colin Campbell I am not a fan of Colin Campbell. When I was in the public transportation business, he came to a meeting and told us that he will not stop until Falls start the heck in our buses. So perhaps he won't fall to the heck at Nationwide as well. That's why he kind of made those statements. Now, seeing that his statement came public, what the debating commission should have done then was to pool all journalists possible of being a part of the debate in asking or feeding the question and moderating. Then, just like how you select a team for World Cup, let it be transparent whether you're going to use persons from the church or the same political parties to send persons to pick their hand in the boxes and pick out the name of the journalist that would be asking the questions for those nights, just for the interest of transparency and removing the whole level of cloud that is already around this. I mean, quite frankly, with all due respect, I have a problem with Ian Jackson Miller being a part. And you see, there you go. Just like the PNP having a problem with Nationwide. And I have a problem with her because of her style. I listened to her over the years, and it's not the first she's been a part of something like this. I remember there was some controversy over the last debate she conducted, I believe, with Dr. Phillips and Jonas. I don't remember who it was. But there was, and I won't even get into that because I am not one who tries to beat down any professional, anyone. But I don't think the debating commission has done itself any good in the way they went about selecting. Not only just selecting, but selecting about 5 or 6 from one media house. And not only that, we have the great, so you remember the name of that young lady who's always on your program during the day?
Nora Gay,
who they could also use as well to man the media and your questions coming in from the media. But instead they have one person that will be doing it for the entire proceeding, which I find to be very not thinking. So I believe that Mr. Bryan, you guys need to wheel and come again and really look into the approach. I mean, there will always be a discomfort whether persons choose from Nationwide or RG or IRFA, because people do have their preference. But how do we eliminate that?
Probably one way, we were discussing it in the newsroom, I think it was yesterday, and Ricardo Brooks suggested that having established the rules, and established the pool of potential journalists for moderators and questioners, you should probably put everybody's name in a box.
Yes.
And draw. Yeah. So for debate one.
Let it be publicly seen.
Yeah. For debate one, social issues, we're going to now draw whoever name turns up for the moderator. Yeah. Then that is it. Yeah. Then for questioners, so you would pre-decide that you have 5 people, all 5 of whom would be qualified, capable, experienced, and be able to perform in front of the cameras, because that is another consideration the commissioners have to bear in mind. That not all journalists, despite their experience, can perform on television. Television is a particular medium which requires a particular skill or particular skills. So you decide, say 5, any one of those 5 can do the debates as a moderator. And you draw lots, So you eliminate the bias or the perceived bias. Because whether they like it or not, there is a perception among media professionals that the TVJ RGR group dominates the pool, and it engenders resentment, I got a call this afternoon from the head of one of our media outlets, simply seeking to canvass my support to come out in opposition to the dominance of the people from the TVJ RGR group on the panel. I
call them JBC.
Well, I don't know. But the point is, we have a problem, and there's a way to fix it. And the Debates Commission must rise to the occasion to fix it. And it has to begin with not allowing any of the political parties, having any say in who is a member of either panel of moderators or questioners.
And the truth of the matter, if you look at the World Cup, is there a reason why they do it that way? You can imagine persons are of the view that it was set up that Brazil and Argentina and England always go through, so they put easy persons in their zone, countries like Jamaica, Trinidad, so that these top countries can always go through to the semis and finals. It's a reason why they select the countries the way they do it. They have a pool and the names come up, the country come up, and they select. So nobody can say that it was biased or it was
rigged.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
so
right now people are saying it is, you know what is, and this is where I worry for the Debates Commission. People are already saying it's rigged. It's rigged in favor of the PNP. And I really don't want to believe that, but that is the perception that it is rigged. Some people telling me today it is going to be
the proper way, Mr. Ewan.
Exactly.
That perception will be there unless you do it. It's a reason why people go and vote and cast their ballot, and you have the different parties and different observers there to ensure it's a fair process.
And here's the danger. Here's the other side of the danger. Yeah? Let's take the leadership debate. It's Giovanni Dennis, Dion, Jackson Miller. Yeah? And when this happens, as it has happened here, and people now begin to cast aspersions about Mrs. Jackson Miller,
of course,
and Mr. Dennis, yeah, you know what that does? Yes, they're under pressure now, knowing those perceptions, to go and try to
self-censor.
Yes, and disprove, yeah, to make sure that they're not seen as soft or as too hard. It puts them under enormous pressure, yeah? And that is why I am saying to the Jamaica Debates Commission, let's fix this. Let us make some adjustments.
I won't call the media out.
Hold on, sir. Put all of the names in a box, yeah? And let us draw the lots, yeah? And don't share the names with any political party to say, okay, we're considering John Mary and so and so. What do you think? Hell no.
And you know, Mr. Hughes, in fairness to Nationwide, I can say, I am a Jamaican first, but currently I support the Jamaica Labour Party. There are times when I listen to Nationwide and I think they're PNP. Yeah. And there's another time I see, but then I have come to the conclusion that Nationwide gets the fact and put it out there. They don't hide and cover information.
I can tell you, I have been called so many things.
If the People's National Party had a realistic case of suggesting Nationwide spreads misinformation, they would have taken it to the PAJ, the Broadcasting Commission, or any other number of bodies to voice a formal complaint. But the simple fact of the matter is they have no such actual case to make beyond their perception and opinion.
Like the What's on My Mind commentary that George Davis did. Yes. Which harshly was critical of the former Prime Minister, P.J. Patterson, which it is felt is what is driving the present PNP position, against Nationwide. And in particular, hold on, let me finish, and targeting George in particular. It is because of that What's on My Mind. And they reported us to the Broadcasting Commission.
Really?
Yes. The Broadcasting Commission investigated us. You know, one of the things we don't do very well here, we don't tell our stories.
Yeah.
We don't. And it is something I think we have got to reassess. Because we can tell you now that PNP complaint to the Broadcasting Commission was investigated by the Broadcasting Commission. They accused George of being unprofessional and not being credible, not supported by facts. And the Broadcasting Commission cleared George Davis and Nationwide.
Yes.
George did absolutely nothing wrong. He had the evidence to support his thesis statement. Yes? And the Broadcasting Commission cleared us. I'm revealing that for the first time. Right? The other day they reported me to the Broadcasting Commission because of a decision we made on Cliff Hughes Online to play that expletive that Mark Golding used on the political platform.
I enjoyed it.
And the Broadcasting Commission cleared us.
Yes.
Yeah? Saying that how we handled it was professional and in keeping with the broadcasting regulations.
Wait a minute, Mr. Hughes, before coming, they said they may complain about an expletive, their leader. But they're making complaint at the wrong place. They should have been at the Central Executive. Bringing Mark Golding before Central Executive for that utterance. They are bringing Nationwide, and Nationwide is the one who cursed the bad word. Let me tell you something. I will say this to the PNP. If you were listening to Nationwide long ago, perhaps your party would be in a better position today. But I've realized that
Absolutely.
the PMP does not take
Absolutely.
criticism well. And we can't look from when we have been saying that Dayton Campbell is too loud and vulgar. Look from when. And if there was any decency in them, they would have respected our view and tried to adjust. Because as one of the things I respect my Prime Minister for, whenever he speaks, he always says, sometimes I may want to pull a particular way, but I have to remember that I am Prime Minister for all.
Yes.
And that is what the PMP has seen. They're sort of going towards performing to a particular group that they can rile up. But they have lost many well-thinking Jamaicans. And nationwide, I have great respect for you, Mr. Youth. I have great respect for George and the team, Ricardo, Siobhan, all the team at Nationwide. I find them conducting themselves in the way leadership is shown, which is to search for the truth and put it out there.
Yeah.
Nothing. And that is why they will not win the election. They cannot put the hard for Nationwide and expect to win the election. And Nationwide, I carry the thing right now, you know. So I don't know what kind of heart them could have put out here and it not play for Nationwide.
And let me remind our listeners, last year, after the local government elections, Dr. Dayton Campbell, the General Secretary of the People's National Party, virtually taunted us when he said the coverage that Nationwide provided was fair and balanced to the People's National Party. They got a lot of exposure on this station, and they did not spend $1 in advertising with us. He taunted us in saying that. Dayton Campbell said that. Our coverage of the local elections were fair and balanced. Yes? And they got the level of exposure that they could not complain about. And yet they did not spend $1 with us. And I say, let me finish. Let me say it. Because I'm going to start talking up and telling the stories now. Yeah? This entity continues to suffer at the hands of PNP supporters, PNP leaders, some of them, not all of them. Let me make that very clear. Some of them, not all of them. And yet, we have refused and will continue to refuse, to the annoyance of some of our biggest listeners and most consistent listeners who tell us, why want to carry PNP in the news? Why want to invite them to the program? Right? Why? And I'm here to know. I want to continue to cover them. I want to continue to carry them on the news. Yeah? Look on YouTube and you see them say it every day. Every day. The YouTubers vex. And I say to you, YouTubers, we can't do the unprofessional. We have to maintain what is professional and ethical. We can't make them set our standards.
We can't take the advice to go to the basement when they go low.
Exactly.
Suggest.
Exactly.
And the thing is this, Mr. I've yet to see Mark, and this is the problem why I can't vote for Mark Goldie. I have yet to see a leadership in Mark Goldie, because if you're going to be a Prime Minister for all, then you have to count every media house. I can't recall when last, let me put it that way, I have heard Mark Goldie and Nationwide as how you'll be on the other station. Just beyond to kind of put to rest that the PNP is against Nationwide or is anti-Nationwide. Nationwide is doing its job. And I believe that the PNP owed your station an apology in their approach. And Colin Campbell, and that is why they'll never win election, because as long as Colin Campbell is there, he has that mentality, Mr. Trafficura. He has that mentality where he tried to cripple an industry, and they do it mercilessly. Mm-hmm. Because look at Nationwide, so many young journalists there, very young, a young team, a young, vibrant team that motivate young people and want to be a part of journalism. I think Nationwide have transformed the sector and people looking in that direction. And then we have a political party or a regime want to destroy that. They will never see power. As long as they continue on that trend, they will never see power. Because many young people are seeing what they're doing and they're against it.
Okay,
good night, gentlemen.
Good night. Yes. Benjamin, good evening.
Good night, Mr. Hughes. Good night to Siobhan as well.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
First of all, let me just say this to your team. I applaud you for making the decision to allow George to partake in the debates. You know, pulling him out would serve absolutely no good, right? I think the debaters, if they're competent, they can questions from anybody, right? But the reason why I'm actually calling tonight, and Siobhan, last week Friday, along the Bagwalk thoroughfare, a boulder came off the hill and fell on the top of a van and they killed somebody. Now, that should be a matter of severe urgency, because the practices, farming and construction that take place above the hilltop will create that. And I note there has been nothing. The thoroughfare is still open. So users of that thoroughfare really now are just like playing Russian roulette. Because how do you know another boulder will not be dislodged and fall on top of somebody's car?
And how do you think they should have dealt with it, sir?
No, it's not how they should have dealt with it. It's how they should deal with it now.
Yes, no. Let me rephrase it. How should they respond now?
Well, for one, I would close off the thoroughfare and do a thorough investigation as to what caused that boulder to be dislodged. Was it because of farming practices? Was it because of construction happening there that should not be happening there?
Was it raining? Was it raining before?
It didn't say that in the news. I didn't read that in the news. It happened just last week Friday.
I heard of it. Mm-hmm.
For me, I would not be driving on hearing this news. I have encouraged all my loved ones and family members to not use the Bagwalk Gorge, because how do you know another boulder will not just dislodge itself and roll on top of somebody's car? So my point is this: if you could just use this medium and speak to the relevant agencies to do a thorough investigation as to what caused that boulder to be dislodged, what is happening above the road, the thoroughfare, right? Mm-hmm. And get to the bottom of it so this accident can be prevented again. What we're trying to do is to avoid this from happening again.
Yes, sir. So, thank you very much for that.
That's what I wanted to say. All right, thanks.
Good.
Grant, good evening.
Grant, good evening. No.
Looks like he's not there.
No. So, you want us to go to the break and come back? Yes, let's do the break now.
Escape to Idle While in a grill where sand and serenity meet. Visit idlewhile.com or call 876-957-3302. Idle While and stay a while.
The following is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
We've come too far to go backwards. Jobs have been created, communities are safer, water systems improved, and for 8 years, no new taxes. Sure, there's more to do, but the progress is real, and it's happening under the Jamaica Labour Party. Let's not lose it now. Put your X beside the bell. Vote JLP. They're doing more for you, and they want to keep doing more.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Do you have a consumer-related issue? Want to learn more about matters concerning you as a consumer? Well, keep it locked to Nationwide 90 FM for the Consumer Hour with me, Nora Gay Banton. Weekdays from 9 to 10 a.m. For all your consumer-centric matters, stay tuned to the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
"13 minutes going up to 8 o'clock. Grant, good evening.
Yes, Mr. Hughes.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Are you okay?
I'm good.
Okay.
You know, I've been through here before, for the last 5 general elections, or 4. Yeah. They have put us through this. And they just don't learn.
I know.
They just don't learn. Yeah.
I know.
They make us stronger. Yeah. And they just, you know what they say about people who keep on doing the same thing over and over and getting the same results?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Hughes,
Yes,
I think they're hurting themselves more than you are nationwide. And then don't realize that, and they will soon realize it. I heard this gentleman from the debate commission. He's the head of it.
Yes, he's a chairman, Mr. Brian Schmidt.
Yes, he was saying that we must respect the decision that they made. But I would like to tell that gentleman, you don't demand respect. You earn respect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And what he has done, he has do exactly what the PNP said him there to do. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And he cannot act like that and then him telling people to respect the decision they made. Right? You are not stupid. Right? You are not stupid. And no well-thinking Jamaica would respect his decision. Right? He bowed to what the PNP said and do exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
And then him coming to tell us to respect his decision. What him take Jamaican for?
Mm.
Him don't earn that respect at all.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, sir.
Serious?
Yes, sir. All
Errol, good evening.
Well, the YouTubers are up in arms. Say that we need to read some of their responses. They have a lot to say. They're saying boycott the debates. No.
I don't think
we're not going to do that.
I don't think democracy is well served when the media decides that we're going to take up our marbles and go home.
Yeah. And that's the essence of a democracy. Yeah? You stand in the arena and you debate. You argue. Yes? You take your punches and you counter punch. Yeah? That is what democracy is about. Yeah? So we're not going to walk away. They're not going to silence us. They're not going to intimidate us. Yeah? So, YouTubers, no. We're not going to boycott it. I have every confidence George is going to go there and he will, may I say, give me a little room, he will be the best moderator. Right?
I would disagree with that statement.
So, please, we're not going to walk away. Yeah? Errol, good evening.
Good night.
Good evening.
Evening, Errol.
Night.
Good night.
So yes, George will be there.
Yes, George will be there, and he will be the best moderator of the 3 debates.
Of course.
He will shine brightly. Yeah?
Of course.
As the NNN figure, presence.
NNN, man.
Yes.
They want to come pick when they want to pick.
Yeah.
And the man they want to talk about him make him rule. Him no make the rule, man. He make the rule, so. Because we can boycott it, because run them and run from certain
No, boycott it. Yeah? When they boycott it, you leave it to them. You stay in the arena. Yeah? You stay in the arena and you use your brain power and your experience to fight them. Yeah?
So, what me have to say to Mr. Hughes, You see that debate, yeah? Labour Party are going to mash up this one. I easy walk over this. You see the one with Camilla Johnson Smith and Matty Samwood and
Christopherton, I think it is.
No,
not
that's not Christopherton's on economy panel.
Oh, okay.
Camilla Johnson. What's the next one name, man?
I think I have it here, on my phone. Yeah.
Yeah, with Raymond Price and Damian Crawford and the woman. I tell you. You're going to have Psyche and Fancy Cat. Because you know, so them the two there, them not come with nothing. Camilla and Dale Morris, and them are going to mash them up, man.
Yeah.
So when this debate are done, man, them not going away, and we have things to talk about, them not know we talk about one come with promise and lie and gimmick, you see? So this debate are for so me want to there, we pull over pull.
Yes.
Yeah, man. So don't back down. Come in that lane. Me want to there. You get me?
I hear you, Errol.
Afraid of anything. You get me?
Yes, sir.
I hear you, Errol.
Just hold tight for the night. Make somebody else come.
All right, sir. Another Errol is on the line.
Yes, Cliff. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, giving to your board. Cliff, when I sit on the list, I say, I'm more afraid of the PNP within this election. I think it is a party, who carry a lot of vendetta, believe it or not, And I should have to think, what am I going to do with Nationwide, Yes?
Yeah.
Me not trust them, I do not trust that party.
I will say, Earl, as Mr. Hughes keeps some things to himself, I try to keep some matters to myself, but I have not heard it said on less than one occasion by people who may very well, if the PNP form government, sit to the right or left of Mark Golding, suggest what they will do to Nationwide if they seize power. And when it comes from people at that level of what could be a cabinet in a government, it should be concerning to Jamaican people that a political entity which claims to be above victimization would take that stance and say that to the journalists who work at that entity that they're willing to take that stance.
Yes, they've said it on more than one occasion. Yes, that if they were ever to get power, yes, they are going to destroy Nationwide.
I know.
They have said it over and over.
I hear it, Cliff, on the road.
Yes.
Anything you hear on the road, take sleep, my dead.
Yes.
But I'm not talking from on the road, Errol. I'm talking from people who you would be expecting to sit in the cabinet room alongside Mark Golding.
Yes, Siobhan, I'm just telling you the little man on the road, them beating at them head. The Nationwide, I want labor right station. I hear that,
Yes.
Yeah, me
and
hear
we
that.
must be silenced. We must be shut down.
Yeah, lock down the station there.
Yeah.
I tell about the little man where I sell a push and cart, So how them, that means it's a thing where them discuss.
And they say it from their party political platforms.
Exactly.
Yes. And yet, something, listeners, they still quietly call us. Like today, we got a call, yes, from one of their candidates' handlers. Oh, they would like to be on Nationwide, on Cliff Hughes Online. Yeah? Please give us an interview. Yes. Those same ones you hear on the platform and who tell their supporters, oh, Nationwide, this and this, want an interview or they want to be in the news. And you know why? Because we have not played dirty like them.
No. Honest journalism.
Okay.
Even sometimes, Cliff, when I lick, I say, yeah, that PNP.
Exactly.
But to some level, you have to find it humorous, because I'm suggesting that these are the same people who will greet other journalists proudly and call them comrade at functions. And if somebody from any political party walked up to me and called me comrade, I would be so aghast, or Labourite. I would be so aghast. But to hear someone speak to a journalist so fondly to the point that you're willing to say, comrade, welcome, sometimes it leaves me speechless.
You're right. And you see, I must tell you, you see that the Gleaner, boy, them have some journalists down there.
No. We're not going to have you attack the journalists at the Gleaner. Leave them alone. Yeah? Leave them alone.
But Cliff.
Yes.
All them right. I never see them quick to put out anything good about the JLP. It's always the bad news. Them quick to publish. And sometimes the news is wrong.
Write them a letter. Send them a letter to the editor and talk to them about that. All right? Good. All right. That's it. Yes, Siobhan?
Well, Mr. Hughes, as I said, I look forward to it. Is Wednesday when George takes the field. Yes. As you said, I expect that he will outshine anybody who goes before or after him.
Yes. And as Jamaicans, don't lose sight of the bigger picture. Yeah, this is a young democracy. The debates are now, just 23 years old? We're a country 63 years old. We need the debates to flourish and to do well so that we remove the political edge, the contests of ideas and policies from the streets to the debate halls. Because remember, not too long ago, we were fighting it out with guns. We can't go back there, so. And it's going to, how I see this, it's the teething pains
of a young democracy.
But
even in aged democracies, we still have many of these problems.
Exactly.
It's democracy is something that is constant work, constant effort.
Absolutely. You have to nurture it. You have to take care of it. It's like a plant. And that is why we must not allow those who would rather subvert the process. They must not succeed. And Brian Schmidt of the Debates Commission, this is a moment you need to rethink this practice of sharing with the political parties who you have in your pool of moderate. No, they are to be engaged in terms of the general rules. Are you going to be standing? Are you going to be seated for 90 minutes? Do you want us to go for an hour and 20 minutes? Those are the rules that are to be engaged in. Not to be told, okay, well, we have a pool here. What do you think about these? No, Bran. That is when you cede power to them and they exploit it. And that's exactly what the PNP has done over the years.
And before we sign off, Cliff, just kudos to Mahiri Stewart, because I believe his question to Mr. Schmidt, which was eventually answered by Colin Campbell, it was inspiring and a well thought out question that was very revealing in terms of the answers. And special kudos out to Ricardo and Tana, who have arrived at such a level in the profession that they allow people such as the People's National Party's executive to quake.
Yes, quake is right.
Exactly.
That's where we're leaving it. Thanks to our producer, Dana Davey, or technical operator Andrew Anderson, the members of the news and production team. Thank you all so much. I'm Cliff Hughes.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
Reminding you, take care of your loved one and look out for your neighbor. Good night.